Well then, hello everybody, ladies and gentlemen across the world, welcome back to this finale. This is WOR Legacy Division, coming at you live from round number 15 here in Las Vegas, but we have a championship to decide. We have a very close competition at the top with Outplayed Racing at the top, with F7R in second, Veloce in third, only 2 points separating the top two, but any of the top three could win it tonight. It is myself, Jota, alongside PGS James Head once again for this event ahead of us. We're in for an absolute blinder, James.
We are indeed in for an absolute blinder. 2 points separating Outplayed Racing and F7R. Outplayed Racing, all they've got to do is outscore F7R. Sounds easy, but judging by their actions this season in the Legacy Division, I think it's going to be very much carnage like here in Las Vegas. Veloce Academy, of course, still in the championship fight as well. They're 62 points behind Outplayed Racing, so they can still, albeit with a very minimal chance, they're still in contention. I think their fight, though, is with Team Jizu in fourth. But hopefully, though, Jota, the drivers have a little less conversation and a little more action, please.
We can only hope so on this one. I mean, of course, looking towards the top, you've got that really close battle. Team Jizu could still clarify and get third place, which obviously would see them automatically qualify for the next season of WR Legacy Division. More on that in just a few short moments. And, of course, plenty of other fighting around as well. Look how close NLR Novus are as well for 6th. Bungaracey team in 5th, looking to try and solidify and possibly even snag 4th if Team Jizu have a bad one as well. So it is all a mixed bag for a lot of teams, and of course Future Racing team down at the bottom are hoping that they can scratch some points together to finish 10th in a 10-team championship. So they'll be hoping that they have a good race ahead of them as well. We are in for, I think, an absolute blinder of a race nonetheless. The drivers all are out on the field at the moment trying to get themselves going here in Q1. All the drivers on intermediates obviously just trying to sort of set a precedent here around tonight. But we are in for that absolute blinder. The question is what are we to expect, do you reckon, James?
Well, carnage. Absolute carnage. I covered PSGL around here, WR Console Tier 1 around here, and it was nothing short of absolute mayhem throughout the race. It was honestly one of those races where it is a very good fitting finale for a season finale of Legacy Division, but it's also a very good finale because when you get the drivers, when you get everything going in the right way, this track really does produce some good action. We could see 3, 4, 5 wide down the strip. We could see overtakes down in towards turn number 4. Everything is possible at this Las Vegas Strip circuit. Bell Wofford's just heading to the timing beam for the 36.8. He's on a set of he's on a set of intermediate compound tires. Even should be expecting around a 27.2 in terms of a pole position. That was console tier 1 pole position around here as well. But now the drivers very excited to see how they're going on. Jerome also in the chat already saying Geronino and Kianino for 1 and 2 incoming for F7R.
Certainly going to be one to watch, that's for certain, as we've seen the first laps coming in. Of course, FRT racing to set the first laps on the board, as you said, with the intermediate tyre. On board with Shizu's Macho on his outlap at the moment. Plenty of other drivers on laps, though. Got BRT Lou, as you said, and we've got, looks like Hazra as well, down for ET8. Also just about to get going as well, by the looks of things. We'll see what his lap looks like, actually. It's coming off of the back of what was a fantastic turnout in the end for ET8 as they go fastest. You know, what a performance from them in the end from the last race in Brazil. Absolutely astronomical performance from ET8 as well, obviously making the safety cars work a treat for them.
Yeah, definitely so. Hazara obviously representing ET8 alongside the other Mercedes man, and I'm just trying to pick him out. It's Lifeboat, of course, former Academy driver for ET8. Hazara obviously has really developed, I think, well as a driver. ET8 have developed well as a team. Remember, their first ever race was Matteo picking up that famous P3 finish in Britain. I interviewed him last week, actually. I think it was for Legacy Division, if we're not mistaken. And Matteo certainly produced a fantastic race out on track last week. Certainly looking to try and solidify ET8 themselves as a very good team out there. Hazara, though, out on top in the session. Definitely going to buy them a lot of time, I think, in this session as well. But we are only 6 minutes through. Everyone's on a set of intermediate compounded tyres. We have been told, though, in the commentary box, for Macho, to watch out for him. 46.8 in the middle, in the first sector, coming through the middle sector right now. He is a driver that you should not discount at your peril in terms of pole position. Jizu have been cooking him with him in PSF2. Is he going to deliver the goods once again here in WR Legacy Division? Only time will tell.
Only time will tell, indeed, as we just we currently got last week's view as well from the Sao Paulo Grand Prix over in Brazil, of course, and the fantastic performance in the end from BRT as well, who managed to get second, and NLR managed to get third as well through Marlon. But once again, it's another one of those races for NLR where you've got one towards the top and one towards the bottom, roughly down in 14th. So it's a really important set of events ahead of us, of course, for NLR if they want to try and solidify their standings at the moment in 6th place. But keep an eye on the Veloce Academy, of course, who are also going to be in a little spot of bother themselves. They are not qualifying tonight.
They are not qualifying tonight. Indeed, both of them have got qualifying ban license points, I think, extending over 30 in the end. So Sammy Chemsey, who has got the most wins this season in WOR Legacy Division 3 to his name, he is unfortunately not going to be taking part in this session, and neither is Christian Block. Christian, a very young, up-and-coming talent. I think he's one of the managers there in Veloce Academy as well. So Christian will be looking at. Julian Locke, though, in the chat, I'm sure will be absolutely going wild, as one fan was there in the background. In the stands, there was one fan just jumping up, waving their hand. That's probably like the Las Vegas Grand Prix in real life, to be honest. But Matchman on top, Azava second, Bell Rofix there in third. We have got drivers coming out, though, on a set of soft compounded tyres. Are we going to see any magic from Magician here tonight? We are at, of course, nearby Caesar's Palace. We're nearby the MGM Garden Arena as well. So let's see if Magician has got any magic tricks up his sleeves, and I wonder if he's going to make the rest of the field disappear.
We're trying to see what causing the issues at the moment as regards to the stream. I'm not sure exactly what's causing the issues, because at the moment everything is okay over on my end at the moment, but we'll keep reviewing it and try and get back to you on that one. But nonetheless, it is the first sort of soft laps are going to be coming in, I suspect, imminently through Q1. We do have soft tyres going on, though, for the G League, as it looks like Ethan and Grimbo's all on a set of soft tyres. In fact, I've got plenty of people out there at the moment with F7R also on soft tyres with Kian. We've got Benza and Louis as well, for Louis Valentine as well, the infamous driver himself over on PlayStation for Outplayed Racing, looking to try and take the race victory and a championship tonight. They're also out on the soft tyres for Ferrari and NVR, also for the Novus Racing Team. Williams drivers also on soft tyres, so they'll be looking to try and get going on that one. We'll keep an eye out and see what's causing the choppiness on the stream, as we'll head over to James actually with a little bit of insight actually as regards to the Las Vegas circuit, because of course first time this is on the calendar for WOR Legacy, and first time of course on the calendar for Formula 1 in general.
Yeah, definitely. So fourth longest actually on the calendar in terms of Grand Prix. Baku, I think, one being the one, Jeddah, and the other one, of course, being Spa. I thought I was going to say a different track there, but Spa is, of course, the longest track on the F1 calendar. Las Vegas comes in around third or fourth in terms of the standing, 6.2 kilometers to the length, of course. We've got the 19 turns that we've got everything going on here out on track. Magician, by the way, is on the lap. We might have to go radio commentary for a little bit, but Magician is on the lap right now. He's coming through in towards the left-hand return 6 and 7. This chicane passing the Las Vegas Sphere on the left-hand side. The Sphere looking very, very nice in the glimmering lights here in Las Vegas on the strip circuit. The Mandalay Bay now in view as their Magician going through that first sector. 43.8 in that first sector. We should be seeing 43.2s, 43.1s in that middle sector when it comes to it. But Macho's there out on top, Hazara second, Belwofix in third. Everyone on a set of intermediate compounded tyres right now. Everyone else, though, on a track is on a set of soft compounded tyres. We should see drivers beginning to try and improve. Tales on a lap, Lucas on a lap. We've got Louis Valentine on a lap, Grimbo's on a lap at the minute as well. And we've also got Bender just starting up a lap, potentially one to watch out for on qualifying. A 109.6 combined in the middle sector, though, from Magician. 225 mile an hour, nearly into the braking zone there of 16 and 17. Now on toward the avenue of turn 18, and now into the left-handed turn number 19. We'll see what Magician can do in terms of this lap time. Again, apologies about the choppiness out on track, but Magician on the run to line, 31.3, good banker lap to start off the evening on a set of softs.
Yeah, certainly is indeed. So we're going to be taking a very short break as we try and figure out what the issues are at the moment with the stream. So we will be disappearing off your screens, but we will be back in just a few short moments as we continue on with this coverage of WOR Legacy. Stay tuned, we'll be back in just a few short moments. Hello there, folks. We're back, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, you should have a slightly better experience. Unfortunately, it seems like we've just had a complete failure of my capture card. So you were just seeing perhaps 10, 12 frames per second, something like that. We've now reverted to my second point of contact when it comes to the stream, so fingers crossed we should be in a slightly better position now. But it is still me, Jota, alongside PGS James Head for this event. James, sorry about that, mate, but fingers crossed it's a better experience now.
Don't worry, it's not Legacy Division without technical issues, though, is it? And hopefully it is. It looks a lot better, put it that way.
Oh,
so
great.
Hopefully everything is going to go according to plan. It still looks a little bit choppy, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was. So hopefully we could just fix things as we go along. Coming into tonight, Lucas, Belwofix, and Roofy, by the way, out of Q1. It was only a tenth of a second. It was a 31-6 to 31-7. In the end, for Lucas getting out in Q1, Belwofix and Roofy a little bit behind. Roofy, I think, invalidated his final lap, alongside both Veloce Academy drivers, like Christian Block and Sammy Chemsey, both taking qualifying bans, though. You were caught up today. Pretty much, you didn't see what happened, but Benza was out on top in the session, Key in second, Louis Valentin third. They all retired in the pit lane after their first runs.
Right, so just keeping an eye out on the chat to see what's happening. Apparently, we are still having drop frames, and it is lagging again, so that would tell me that my computer is about to go completely kaput, which of all times for that to happen is the finale of the WOR Legacy Division is absolutely... it's disappointing beyond belief, isn't it, on that one? So we will attempt to try and fix these issues, and it looks like we may end up having to switch seats on that one then, James, and try and get Plan C underway to get that one underway. But in the end, though, it is a disappointing turnout, for Veloce just before we go away. Obviously, they're not qualifying, so they're starting at the back. Before we disappear again to try and get that third stream up and running, we've got to talk about that then. What have they got to do to get themselves on their way to try and take a victory?
They've got to hope for a miracle, to be honest, for Veloce Academy. They're down in 19th and 20th position. It's going to be really intriguing to see how they get on. Sammy Chemsey, of course, as I mentioned just before, if people could hear us, that was. Legacy Division was the one where he, of course, has had 3 wins this season. So Sammy Chemsey has got that form on his side. Christian Block is a relatively newcomer, so Veloce Academy are up against it, but hopefully, by the end we get this fixed. By the time that Q2 gets into the middle stages, we'll be all up and running. And if my connection dies, then God forbid what's going to happen.
Oh, I know. I mean,
but yeah,
it's absolutely disappointing, isn't it, to say the least on this one. So yeah, I'm just having a look. My CPU is fried. We're going to head off, I think, and try and get this one going. This is the final time. I'm sure we're going to go offline, and let's get a new stream on that's a bit higher quality. Back in a mo.
Well, welcome back, everyone. You're now on my end. Hopefully you can see that a lot better than what we had on Jota's end. Sadly, his PC is dying, but lo and behold, you've got a Lord and Saviour. It is still me, James Head. Jota alongside me in the commentary box. Lifeout currently on top in Q2. Hopefully that is a lot better. Let me know if everything is okay. If not, we will go and fix things as we go along. But Jota, Lifeboat now out on top. Matcho in second, Hazard in third. Thank God we can actually see some action now.
We can finally see some action at least. I'm not sure what's going on my end of things. I think it must be... I initially thought my capture card had completely fried, so I went over to a second one, and then apparently that wasn't working either. So I'm going to only assume my computer is now going to a complete kaput stage. So apologies for all of those issues that are just completely unforeseen, because they obviously do get tested prior to us going live. So yeah, disappointing nonetheless, but we should be in for a blinder nonetheless in Q2, as Lifebout immediately showing his... cards with that 31-2, but we're expecting, I think, a few lap times, maybe perhaps a little bit quicker than that one, as we've got Outplayed Racing's Benza on an outlap, alongside F7 Archie and Novus's Magician.
Yeah, we have indeed. Jerry Van Bossel as well as on an outlap. He's in the first sector. Just trying to see who's actually furthest on. Looks like Magician is going to be the furthest on on a night lap. Currently 8 drivers on have finished their laps. Grimbol's been the slowest out of the lot, 31.7 in terms of his lap time. Already on a 31.2, so very, very quick lap time's already been set. Macho's up there with Lifeboat and Hazara rounding off the top 3. But hopefully that is all okay. I can certainly see it from my end, and it's running as smooth as silk, so it is very, very nice. All good to see. It is all good to see. Thank God. But I mean, we're running at like what 1800 frames, so it's not going to be the best. But at least it's better than what we had. And of course, you've got the overlay at the top and the top middle of your screen as well. Outplayed Racing out on top, 445 points, 443 for F7R. Veloce Academy in third on 383. Veloce ideally need a miracle, I think, for OP and F7R to go absolute kaput in terms of their chances here tonight. But 2 points separating the main two teams, Jota. Going to be interesting to see how they all fare in Q2, especially with Benza, Kian and Jerry Van Bussel about to start their laps.
Yeah, it's incredibly critical, isn't it, for the likes of F7R and Outplayed Racing at this point. Now, they've got to try and maximise this opportunity to distance themselves from Veloce after, of course, they qualified banned after I think it was, what was it, a number of points that they've accrued has exceeded the amount to serve one qualifying ban, and then another qualifying ban for the fact that, I think it was Matthew, wasn't it, ended up retiring on circuit after spinning out. So this is a disappointing situation for Veloce. Outplayed Racing and F7R have absolutely got to maximise that opportunity now, haven't they? To try and take as many points as they can, as it looks like a little bit of an incident.
Yeah, that was Magician having a big snap of oversteer coming out through turn number 3. And, oh, I'll get the timing tower and everything up on the right-hand side. Telemetry as well being shown. Another hit of the wall there from Magician. Not looking magical so far. More like a graceful swan dying a sad and painful death right now for the NVR man. That is harsh. I don't know where that come from. I'm sorry. Magician coming through the left-hander of turn number 9 and 10. Now until the end of the first sector. It's around a 44-second first sector through here and a 44.5. Well down on what we should be expecting from him. Benza low on the lap, Keen on the lap as well. We're going to focus our attentions on the F7R man of Keen, of course, PC F2 driver in PSGL, I think also transitioning to PC in WOR as well. Won here in console tier 1 just 2 weeks ago. So Kian has got good form coming into tonight as Tallers has got a 5-place grid penalty. Sorry, Louis Valentine has got 5-place grid penalty for collision with Tallers. Didn't see where that happened. I think that's coming through turn 4, just in towards the right-hander at the end of the first straight. Kian, though, up in that first sector, 43.3 in that first sector. The F7R man looking very, very strong indeed. If it does get choppy, by the way, in terms of the stream, don't worry, it's my connection.
I'll just give you an eye on what happened, and to be honest with you, it looked like a pretty hefty whack, because Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine has no front wing at all, so it is a pretty hefty incident, and if indeed it does turn out that he was the guilty party of that one, no doubt the stewards are going to say, no, we're not going to restart the lobby, you are going to start with that 5-place grid penalty, which obviously could be a massive detriment to the Outplayed Racing sort of strategy to try and take a championship tonight, of course. F7R Kian, though, showing immediately what F7R want to bring to the table. 130.7 across the line, and that McLaren looks like that team is ready and raring to go to take a championship tonight, with only 2 points between the pair.
Benza goes second as well with a 2/10 of a second off, 30.9. So very, very good lap times being set, but a 30.7 already. As I say, we should be looking to around the 130.2s in terms of an average lap time, in terms of potential pole position. That's what pole position was, I think, in console tier 1. There is the wheel, by the way, Tallers, just on board with Jerry Van Bussel, coming up the hill and towards turn number 4 there. You saw the wheel, you saw the contact. Well, we didn't see the contact on our end, but certainly there was contact on the mini-map. So unfortunately, Louis Valentine in 6th position will put him down to 11th. I believe, though, with how it works, as the McLaren, a Kian gets in the way, Jerry Van Bussel. Not good news there from him. I think Jerry Van Bussel backed off just before that, but he's there in 14th position. Looked good through the first sector. In that middle sector, though, he's backed off because, basically, Kian was right on the way of him coming out of turn number 10. But Kian out on top, Benza second, Bolakungan there in third with 5 minutes to go left in Q2. Reminder as well of the drivers that went out in qualifying 1. Lucas went out only a 10th of a second behind the man placed in 15th position. I believe it was Magician who was 15th. Belrofik's also out along with Rufy. They were about 5/6 of a second off Lucas in the end. Both Veloce Academy's drivers out as well. Joss, you've already mentioned the reason for that, but a reminder, both of them had qualifying bans, Sammy Chemsey and Christian Block, starting from the back of the field. Kian, though, out on top, Benza second, Bolakongan in third, and 4.5 minutes to go in qualifying.
So then in the lane, they're not going to continue on with that particular lap. I think After perhaps an impediment by his own teammate. Well, we're not sure, but he's back in anyway. Fresh set of soft tyres will be going on for him. Just keeping an eye out on Furious as well. Great race from him, actually, for BRT last week. Ended up in a great position for BRT after the safety cars taking a podium, but he is going to be looking to try and set a lap on the board as it stands at the moment. He's currently on a lap, and he's looking to try and over the curb too aggressively like that one, because of course now he's just invalidated his lap time. Now he's under the cosh a little bit now with 3 drivers still yet to set a lap with less than 4 minutes to go. Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine just leaving the pit lane though in that Ferrari, so he'll be hoping to get a little bit of a sweepstake here to try and get near his teammate, who's actually a little bit faster than him by just over 4:10, so looking to try and get a bit closer and try and counteract off of F7R, who are obviously trying their hardest to try and get Cherry Van Bussel out as quickly as they possibly can.
Yeah, definitely so. The Frenchman, of course, Louis Valentine, I think has taken 2 wins so far this season. Of course, 1 in Monaco, all the way back, albeit our first commentary for Season 3 as well, all the way back in Monaco, where he won by 20 seconds. So Louis Valentine has got that form coming into tonight. He has been under the cosh. He struggled here, actually, in PSGL around here in Las Vegas as well. So hopefully, going to be interesting to see. Keki, by the way, is mentioning that your voice is so low. It might be because I need to turn you up on my end. That'll be a help. I'm going to turn you up a little bit. Hopefully that fixes things, but hopefully everything is good. Talers, by the way, out of the session. Luke asking about that in the chat. He had an incident with Louis Valentine. I think he retired on track, if I'm not mistaken, because they picked up the 5-place grid penalty, and I think I saw him continuing on in the AlphaTauri, and then I think he retired out on track. So hopefully everything is okay with Talers, but he is confirmed out, as is for now Grimbo's Magician, Jerry Van Bussel, and Furious, but still. Final lap times to be set. 3 of those guys, Magician, Cherry Van Bussel, and Furious, still yet to set their lap times. Keen and Benza, they'll feel like they've done enough. Jota, already retiring as well. But Louis Valentine, first man out on track. Going to be interesting to see how the Frenchman gets on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting indeed to see how the rest of the team also get along as well. Of course, G-League are trying their hardest to get into the top 10. It's an opportunity knocks to them, of course, with Furious out and Talers out. So, opportunity for G-League to try and get some good positions potentially ahead of this Las Vegas Grand Prix. Magician also on an outlap, keeping it nice and steady, of course. Nice and cool, nice and easy. As we just keep an eye as well on the people around who are just trying to start a lap. I think the first person to be setting a lap by the looks of things is probably going to be one of the outplayed Racings. I believe it is going to be Louis Valentine, who comes across the line to start his lap now. Gone out a little bit earlier than the rest of them at the moment. I don't think he feels comfortable with 1:31.3, and I wouldn't as well. I think there's some particularly quick lap times potentially coming in from Lou. Perhaps Grimbo's as well. Never going to discredit driver. Great driver is Grimbo's as well. Macho retiring from the session P3, though. He's happy with that one, is the Team Shazoo driver.
Definitely so. Louis Valentine up the hill in towards the right-hand return before you can see the sphere overhanging the circuit as they come through this part of the lap. It's a very tight, twisty section as well. And trust me, I've hit the wall around here. Coming out of this corner, turn number 7, I hit the wall when I was on for the race win around here in Las Vegas. Ended up finishing 4th in the end, sadly. But Louis Valentine coming through the left-hander of turn number 9, looking very, very good indeed. And a 43.4 in the middle sector. Slightly slower than what we saw with Kian and with Benza through their first sector. So Louis Valentine cooking at the minute. Match up, by the way, is in 3rd. He feels like he's done enough. I'd be a little bit circumspect, though. Drivers can find a big improvement around here. Bolakong and Dan, Lifeboat Hazard, and Louis Valentine could potentially all find those improvements. But Louis Valentine now down the 2-kilometre strip, passing the Caesar's Palace, passing the replica of the Eiffel Tower, just about on the borderline. There it is, on the left-hand side. About 222 mile an hour will be carried up the hill in towards turn number 16. Nicely done now, coming through 16. Runs the curb through 17, now through 18, clips the wall again. That's him done in terms of his lap time. Has to try and get an improvement though on the board. Is the Frenchman going to improve? I highly doubt it though after crouching the wall twice. Louis Valentine to the line. Does find 0.2 of a second, but that is not the neatest sort of lap that I've expected from him.
No, we were expecting a little bit faster from Louis Valentine there. That bang on the wall's probably lost him at least a couple of tenths there as well. So you've actually might have been around about Benza's pace actually. So taking that knock out of the wall, actually outplayed Racing may be feeling a little bit more confident that at least Louis Valentine and Benza have got some kind of confidence behind the wheel. It's just Louis Valentine obviously needs to be a bit more careful about when he picks and chooses to graze the wall. Valakongan looking to try and improve on his lap as well. He's currently setting the fastest Sector 1 of anyone so far. So looking particularly quick is the Shazoo Shizou driver, but I believe it is the G League drivers that are going to be coming up to finish their laps at the moment. 5/10 up in the second sector, apparently, is Ethan, as he comes across the line right now and beats Louis Valentine to 4th place. A good lap time indeed. And here comes Grimbos as he then comes across the line and goes 7th fastest. So not too bad. Is G League on their way potentially to a double showing in Q3, I wonder?
Let's see, Jerry Van Bossel to the line goes 4th. Grimbos could be in trouble here. Volakongan is improving by 0.2 of a second through that middle sector as well. Just trying to see who's furthest on the lap. Hazara and Lou. Lou's next to come across the line. He's improving by 1.5 on the run to the line. Does he go up? Yes, he goes 7th. Grimbos is definitely in trouble now. Volakongan is next to the line in the Alfa Romeo. We've got the Mercedes of Lifeboat and Hazara coming up next. Volakongan goes 2nd. Big lap time from the Dane as he now goes through. Dan there not improving at the minute. Lifeboat is improving by 10th. Hazara is improving as well. Just a little bit of choppiness on my end. I apologise. It will fix itself as we go through. As Lifeboat now comes toward the line. Has he got Grimbos out? He does. Grimbos there is in 10th position. He's in trouble. He's in for now. But is he in? Because Hazara now comes to the line. 31.3 to beat. Oh, and he goes close. But in the end, a 31.332. Only improved by 0.004 of a second in terms of his lap time. Kian on top, Volakongan, huge lap there from the Dane in 2nd, and Benter there in 3rd, Matchel there in 4th. Fantastic lap times from the Mad on track, and I've just clicked on, actually, Volakongan is not Dane, he is actually Norwegian. Just that's the whole part and parcel of us getting the scream and getting completely confused with our nationalities. But Kian on top, Volakongan 2nd, Bender there in 3rd, but what about that? ETA Lifeboat on his debut for ETA, out-qualifying Lou and Grimbos, 8th. Fantastic lap time from him.
Yeah, good lap time indeed, and that will mean Grimbos does manage to sneak through, but only by a short margin by the looks of things. It's just missed it as it comes off of the screen. It looks like 0.5 separating the dropout zone from getting through to Q3. But G League, couple of drivers, both of the drivers through to Q3, so it's a good showing from the French outfit in their final race in this tournament. Of course, they'll be hoping to try and qualify again next season, but nonetheless, they'll be showing their performance with a 6th and a 10th place going through into Q3. Jerry Van Bossel a little bit down on the order, as is Louis Valentine as well. So I don't think we're quite seeing the quickest drivers out there at the moment. But what will be who the team that'll be panicking at the moment will be Veloce Academy. They've got Shizou drivers in 2nd and 4th, and theoretically speaking, Shizou can still go 3rd in the final standings at the end of this. If Veloce don't have a good race here, then they're not going to automatically qualify, unlike Shizou, who might. Keep that door wide open, folks. 3rd place is still on the cards.
Yeah, definitely. So Shizou, by the way, I think need 1st and 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even a fastest lap in that as well to try and confirm. But we are now going into Q3. Reminder, of course, of the championship standings coming into tonight. There is the full graphic showing all of the standings. Outplayed Racing out on top on 445. F79 2nd and 443. 2 points separating the top 2 teams in Lexi Division going into the final round of the championship. Veloce Academy in 3rd on 383. Their Team Shizou in 4th on 321. Bunga Racing Team in 5th on 302. NLR in 6th on 269. They're in a big fight with Novus Racing in 7th on 262. Then a huge chasm of a gap to ET8 and 8th on 177. They've got to fend off the attentions of G League and indeed Future Racing Team. ET8 on 177, G League on 174, and then Future Racing Team, who are technically 10th. Partner Racing still 10th on 142. Future Racing Team 11th on 109. They're looking to try and get 10th place in a 10-person championship right now. But let's go back on track as the drivers are just about to filter out on their final runs. Who are your predictions for pole position? Let me know, let Jota know in the comment section. We'll read them out, of course, as we go through. I'm immediately going to jump the gun and not ask Jota, but I'm immediately going to predict pole position. And I think it's going to go to OP Benza.
Benza, that's a shout, actually, to be fair. I was going to potentially quote Benza as on for pole myself, actually. But you know what? I'm going to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, and I'm going to say Shizou Macho, you know. I think there's a real possibility Team Shizou could be on their way to a potential, you know, out of nowhere sort of scenario to really grab pole, but it's all about whether the consistency of the runners is out there. And you know what? With the little shake-up from Louis Valentine at the moment, I'm wondering if Outplayed Racing aren't particularly feeling too confident at the moment behind the wheel of their cars, knowing that there's a real possibility they could be bottling this championship. Let's see, though.
Yeah, let's see. Indeed, Ethan, I think, is one of the first out on track, along with the Aston Martin and BRT. Lou, BRT once again getting the car into Q3 for, I think, the third consecutive week. Of course, Gabor being one of their most famous drivers for BRT, getting them through into Q3 quite a number of times this season. So BRT definitely cooking. They need a car in Q3 if they want to try and hold off the attentions of them further down the field. But BRT, Lou, they're in 10th position currently. Haven't got the lap times on the board just yet, but we are on the outlaps right now for the final runs here in qualifying 3. And as I say, I think Benza will probably get out on top. I just think... I love it how we mentioned, by the way, Luke Humphries came into the behind the scenes and he predicted Macho and Bender to watch out for, and we've actually gone for pole position. So, Luke, it is not because of you that we've predicted this, it's just because they're very good drivers around this track. As Lou now comes onto lap down in towards the hill, now through the left-hander of turn number 1.
I was curious as well, actually, just a little bit of a sort of backslash on this one here. I'm just looking at the platforms as well, because way back when it used to be all Xbox Master Race and all that, the final race of the season in WOR Legacy and across platform, and the 9 drivers out of the top 10 that have got through to Q3 are all PlayStation. So I think it just goes to show at the moment that the talent at the moment seems to be switching platforms. And if you think PlayStation have always got, that epic amount of talent, but wow, absolutely flying high at the moment is that platform. Looking forward to seeing what the upcoming season's got for PlayStation, that's for sure. Just keeping an eye out as well on G League as well. I think Ethan is the first person to set a lap. It looks like old soft tyres for him though.
Yeah, 43.5 in the middle, in the first sector even. It's so long, that first sector, I have to feel it's a middle sector, to be honest. But Lou, coming down through the left-hander of turn number 13, now on towards the strip, passing the Las Vegas winner circle on the right-hand side, passing the Mandalay Bay, passing the Caesars Palace, passing the MGM Garden Arena. So many iconic, the Bellagio, the Ruffian, everything down this strip as Lou now comes towards the end of the strip and a 109.4 in the middle sector, indicating he isn't like to use compounder tyres. The Aston Martin now coming through the right-hander at turn 17, then through the left-hander at turn number 18. PlayStation grip, people are saying in the chat, potentially could be the case as Lou now comes down the hill into turn number 19. We'll see what his first lap time is on the board. 31.3 to start off the night. We've got the G League guys coming in. A 110 flat from Ethan. He's slower than Lou in that middle sector. Grimbol's in his middle sector is a 109.5, so more on par with what we saw from Lou in terms of his first run. So the Alpines now is the Ferrari, actually. Louis Valentin just on up on a lap as well. Grimbol's next to the come across the line along with Ethan. Ethan now towards the final corner on the run-to line through turn 19. 31.7 puts him 4/10 top, but Grimbol's is definitely improving, I think, ahead of Lou here. On the run-to line comes the Frenchman, and he does go quickest, 31.234, and he's a 10th clear of Lou in the early stages.
Nowhere near the lap times that we were seeing, though, going through into Q3 back in the beginning part of Q2. So drivers will be out there now trying to get the lap times more closer to what we're expecting. 30.7, then Macho 30.5 from the Shazoo pairing. I did say Macho could be up there, and he certainly is showing it. I'm looking at Louis Valentine at the moment, who manages to avoid hitting the wall in the first sector. His first sector split is actually just coming up at the moment. We'll see how that one looks, and it's 43.4, so it's actually a used set of soft tyres, I think, again, for the outplayed racing boys. Benza is a little bit down as well, but he's just finishing the third sector right now, and I think we've got another lap coming in, possibly from F7R, and it looks like it is Kian, 30.6.
Yeah, 30.6. Drivers have saved a compounder tyre because they went on the inters, of course. Drivers have saved fresh set of softs for the final runs. Benza there going fourth. A little bit disappointing from his perspective. Louis Valentin is a 109.4 in the middle sector. Jovan Bussel's next to come across the line as well. The Dutchman, of course, a PSGL championship winner last season. So he's got good form coming into tonight. He's used all of his deployment, though, on the run to the line. Goes 6th position, 31.237. Louis Valentin is running to the line as well. He's not going to use up all of his deployment on the run to the line. We'll see what the Frenchman can do. He goes 5th. So currently, upsetting the apple cart, Macho out on top from Kian in 2nd, Volokongan in 3rd. Shazoo were a strong team around here. Volokongan particularly strong around here in PSF1. How on earth are we going to see this qualifying going? Because our predictions at the minute, you're out on top. Benza's currently down in 4th. Come on, Benza, pull it out.
There's got to be a used set of soft tyres, I think, on the Outplayed Racing boys. They've got a little bit more in the trunk, I think. If there's, from Benzo, 130.8 on a used set of soft tyres is not bad going, actually. So potentially a little bit more available to them. Macho, if that 30.5 is also on a used set of soft tyres, that's blisteringly quick. So we'll see here. I don't expect we're going to be in the 29s, but we definitely might be in the low 30s for certain on that one there, as PS Grip has been absolutely chanted about in the chat at the moment in that one, as it looks like just at the moment I'm keeping an eye out here as Jerome 31-3. That's definitely Xbox wings, so we can see there's still that little rivalry between the two platforms. That's lovely. We've got a little bit of time left though before we get going. 5 minutes to go. You still think Bender's on for pole though, James?
I believe, well, I technically believe in Black Box as well. I saw him in the chat a little bit earlier on, but I believe in Benzer. He's there in 4th, 30.8. I have a feeling if that was on a used set of compounded tyres, which I don't think it was, I think it was on a fresh set, he'll have to go on a scrub set for his final run. And I think with that scrub set, I found time around here on a scrub set of tyres. So it is even plausible, I think, for Benzer to try and find a little bit of time if those soft compounded tyres are only, what, 3, 4, 5% worn in terms of their actual ratio, in terms of the tyres being used up. Is it PS script, though, when you can say Lou is ahead of Ethan, though? 9th position, 31-3. Ethan, 10th, 31-7. I think it is PS script completely. But Ethan there down in 10th position, he needs to pull it out the bag. Is it going to be a PlayStation 1-9 and then Lou down in 10th position? That would be an interesting thing to look out for as well. Looking through the comment section as well, Francesco Loggle saying, I believe in Black Box too. Jav saying he can date Mila Kunis. Well, good luck with that one, Jav. I don't think you've got the looks, to be honest, for it, but there we are. Macho's out on top, Key in 2nd, Bullakongan in 3rd. That is an absolute burn to my 24 hours of F1 colleague.
Burn. Oh, one hell of a burn, to say the least, in that one. 3.5 minutes to go in this one at the moment. Everyone in the pit lane gives us James a further opportunity to continue to burn people in the chat at the moment. As Jav in the chat just hands you that L on that one, James. I am sorry, son. You're going to have to take an L for that one. Ouch.
Do you know what? I haven't actually seen that comment, so I will let that one pass. If he wants a timeout, I am a moderator on this channel, so he can have a timeout if he wants one.
Oh, I love that one. The same thing. I've got Bolero Fox. I'm racing on Xbox. Certainly is as well. The old Bolero Fox as well. TSRL Tier 6 friend, if you will, out there as well, enjoying the stream tonight. I hope everyone else is tuning into now what is a very, very slick stream, thanks to Plan C of the stream as well. Just want to hand out my big thank you to James Head and, of course, the rest of the team for what has been, I think, a thorough, quick plan to try and get everything back up and running, as my computer, would you believe, has now actually started to break down on me right now whilst I'm not even streaming anymore. So I'll try and monitor that one, and hopefully if you do hear a sudden crack and then an explosion, you'll know what's caused it.
Yeah, if you hear a Discord disconnect as well, you know it's him leaving the Discord call and then me having to fend for my life in terms of a solo commentary, which hopefully will not happen. Macho's out on top from Keen in 2nd, Bullakongan there in 3rd for WOR Legacy Division, the season finale. Bullakongan is the first man out on track. He's currently P3, 30.7, 10th and a half to find on Kian, 2/10 of a second to find on the Shazoo teammate Macho. Bullakongan looks pretty strong around here, but what does he need to do to find that extra time on Kian and Macho?
Just keeping a firm eye on what's happening, as we've got plenty of people burning through fuel. Looks like people have accidentally put a little bit too much fuel in the cars. Obviously, I think trying to also and get the tyres up to a nice temperature out there at the moment. So the leading driver, I think, as you rightfully point out, is Valakonga, but he has got a very quick BRT Lou, who looks very keen to get going. Just tucking in behind down this straight, not straight, between sector 2 and 3. Keep an eye out on the lap times coming in from, I think, Macho, probably Benza, Valakongan, Kian as well. We've had people in the chat saying 29.9s are certainly possible. Kian has been able to do a 29.9. The question is he going to be able to replicate what is a personal best performance to get F7R the pole position that they desire? Remember, the F7R are the team as well, James, that we're obviously are in that title fight, aren't they? They're only 2 points behind Outplayed Racing, and we both don't believe either of their drivers are going to get pole tonight. Don't discredit them indeed. Looks like we've got Valakongan on his lap. Here we go. It's a fight for pole.
It is the fight for pole. The Norwegian runs down the hill in toward the left-hander now of turn number 1. Let's see what Bullakongan can do. in terms of his lap time. Macho out on top, Keen in second, Volokongan in third. Lou the next to come across the line as well. May get an illegal blocking penalty in that final sector, but we'll come to that as it goes. As Volokonga now comes up the hill, in towards the right hand at turn number 4, up the first DRS zone. Of course, only 2 DRS zones around here. One down this straight in towards turn number 4, one down the strip in towards turn number 14. As Volokonga now comes through into the left-hander now of turns 5, and then in toward the chicane of turn 6, and then through the right-hander of turn 7. There's the Las Vegas Sphere, overhanging the circuit completely. Volokonga with a slight snap of oversteer coming out of that corner. Very difficult to control the car. Does it very nicely though. Volokonga in this first sector is 43.3, so he's actually 800 up on his lap time right now. Lou, for comparison, in terms of his first sector, 43.359, so he's 2 tenths up, so they're matching pretty much each other through that first sector. Volokonga now embarking onto the strip. Let's see what the Norwegian man can do out on track. It's Macho out on top, it's Keen in second, and Volokongan there in third. There is the wide chop from Volokongan as he speeds past the camera angles, getting a speeding ticket quite literally down the strip here into the left-hander now of turn number 16, and he's up in the middle sector once again, 220 mile an hour on the brakes now and towards turn 16. Goes nearly too wide though into the chicane through 17-18, now in towards turn number 19, on the run down the hill now for Volokongan. It's looked a very, very good lap from him so far. Down the avenue, through the left-hander turn 19, on the run to the line. Does he go quickest? No. Stays as he is, and he didn't actually improve in the end.
Yeah, keeping an eye out on Kian, though. Kian looking fairly sharp as Lou goes 5th fastest with a 30.9. He's looking pretty sharp, though, in the second sector, up a 10th. Here comes Kian, it comes across the line. Ooh. Snags pole by just a very short margin indeed. 30.5 for him as well. Benza also looking sharp. He comes across the line. He snatches pole as well with a 30.5 on top of all of that as well. Jerry Van Bussel also looking to try and improve as well, as Louis Valentine only goes 4th fastest with a 30.6, would you believe? Here comes Van Bussel. He comes across the line, 30.7 for him, and we've got to keep an eye out on my man, which I thought would be Macho. He has invalidated his lap, so 3 drivers on for pole with a 30.5. The fastest is Benza. What a lap time indeed. Lifeboat comes across the line, stays 10th fastest.
Believe in Benza. Simple as. Benza out on top with a 30.5. You did not catch my reaction there. Luckily my camera wasn't on, but I punched the air when Benza hit the line to go pole position. I heard it. I heard that. I swear I am not biased towards OP tonight. I swear on my absolute life that I am not biased towards Benza. Just a pure prediction. My prediction right in the end. Your prediction, to be fair though, 3rd. And only 400th of a second off, covering the top 3. Very, very close indeed in terms of qualifying. The top 6, absolutely class in terms of the actions. Joseph is mentioning there as well. The top 6 are all PlayStation. And there's Benza out on top by 200ths of a second from Keelan in second. OP F7R front row of the grid, that's what we like to see. Macho there in 3rd, with Louis Valentine in 4th. Jerry Van Bussel starting right alongside Louis Valentine as well. This is going to get spicy. Volokongan there in 6th, with BRT Lou in 7th, Grimbles there in 8th, Ethan there in 9th, and Lifeboat in the end just a little bit outdone in terms of the final lap time. I don't think he was improving in terms of his final run, but he went there in 10th position, still getting the ET8 at least a car through. We, however, though, are going to go for an intermission break. I didn't see any illegal blocking penalties, so we might have to be quick on this one. We're going to go for our intermission break. We'll be back with you in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Isn't that a nice sight? Or is that the sight for sore eyes, you may think? Hopefully it is not. My name is James Head, of course. On the right-hand side of your screen, Jota on the left-hand side of me here in the commentary box for WOR Legacy Division. It is Season 3, Round 15, Las Vegas. We had that fantastic qualifying session, Jota. And in the end, my pick, OP Benzer, out on top.
You mean you got that one in your last second, to be fair. I mean, I think, I don't know what it was, like a used tyre that, it was a blisteringly quick lap time, to be fair, on a used tyre, but he was able to generate a better lap at the end of it. And the bottom line is my pick for it, Macho for Shazoo, just didn't get that lap time he needed right at the end. He ended up invalidating and he just slowed down and said that was it. So, but he ended up missing out by 0.04 of a second between the top three. So, impeccable lap times came in right at the end, didn't it? And it ended up resulting in a very, very close margins between first and possibly sixth, all occupied by Outplayed Racing, F7R and Shazoo. That is going to make for a very, very, very spicy start to this race. Shazoo have got a lot to play for here. They're going to be fighting out with Veloce, who start at the back.
Yeah, Veloce do start at the back indeed. If anybody has been living under a rock for the last, an hour and a half or so, and if you haven't been looking at what's been happening in Legacy Division, Veloce Academy have qualifying bans, which is why they're down in 19th and 20th position. Already an uphill task because they're 62 points behind in terms of the standings, and we can have a look actually at the full grid in terms of the standings. Outplayed Racing out on top on 445 points, F7R in second on 443, 2 points separating arguably the two best teams out there on PlayStation and on console right now, so it is going to be interesting to see how they get on, especially because they've qualified right next to each other with both of their drivers, which is going to be even more entertaining. Veloce Academy in third on 383. Their fight, I think, is with Team Shazoo. I think they're comfortable, though. Team Shazoo, though, biting back with Macho and Volakongan in Q3 there. They're in fourth on 321. Bunker Racing Team not entirely out of it. They've got Lou, of course, qualifying, I think, in seventh in the end. 302 points on their total this season. NLR Esports in 6th on 269. Their fights with Novus Racing in 7th on 262. EC8 in 8th on 177. And G League 9th on 174. Parnell Racing in 10th on 142. Future Racing Team there in 11th on 109. They have got to try and get the 10th place in the 10 grid lineup. Hopefully not getting beat by a now defunct team in Parnell Racing. Nexus Racing as well, they're down in 12th position. Seems a long time ago since their last race. I think it was race 1 in Monaco where Cindery was racing for them. And then they were defunct at the end of round 2. So Nexus Racing down in 12th, 35 points. We missed them dearly along with Parnell Racing. But Outplayed Racing out on top, Jota. Going to be interesting with only 2 points separating the top two teams.
Certainly going to be interesting. The issue is, though, by far, is that the situation is now developing with Louis Valentine, because you remember that obviously he ended up getting that grid penalty as a result of a collision, and then later down the line, someone ended up retiring from qualifying, and that was Tales. Louis caused the DNF apparently in qualifying for Tales, which means he could end up resulting in a 10-second penalty post-race. So that's going to be one to watch here, because that 10-second penalty, if it is applied, could be the make or breaker between someone end up winning a championship and someone not. So keep a firm eye out on that one, because I think we're going to be in for an absolute blinder, as I'm sure the drivers are about to get ready for a extremely important race, I think, for a lot of teams here.
Yeah, extremely important indeed. If anybody wants a reminder as well of the lineup that we've got coming into tonight, let's have a look at the lineup. Of course, as Veloce Academy, we've already alluded to Sammy Chemsey and Christian Block, both having qualifying bans. Sammy Chemsey, most race wins so far this season in Legacy Division. If there's anybody to have on your side, it is him. Hopefully producing the impossible, maybe from 19th on the grid up to first by the end of the race. It's Las Vegas. Anything can happen, trust me. Louis Valentine and Benza in for Outplayed Racing. Then Hazara and Lifebad in for ETA. Hazara is going to be an interesting one, I think. Obviously, out-qualified in Q2, but he is going to be one to watch out for in terms of race pace. Ethan then Grimbold's in for G League. Then Kean and Joe Van Bussel making their triumphant return to console for tonight. They are representing F7R. Shazoo have got Macho and Volakongan, of course, qualifying within the top 5. Furious and Lou there in for BRT. Furious fresh from a win in console tier 1 as well. Belrofix and Dan in for FRT. Then Talas and Rufy in for NLR. Magician and Lucas in for NVR as well. As we are delighted to say, you can't see our faces anymore. And I'm also delighted to say we're getting now onto the grid very, very shortly indeed. And hopefully this is going to be fantastic. Dirk is wanting and NLR gonna be dull. That doesn't even make sense. Gonna be dull as NLR won OP or F7R champs, so NLR might have to bribe, potentially, either the two teams to try and win the championship. But I'm sure Harley is better than that, and I'm sure NLR are better than that instead of bribing your way to the championship win.
Absolutely. I'm keeping a firm eye and see when the ready time is going to be, because I'm sure it's going to be very imminently. The drivers are going to be very keen to get going on this one. You know, I'm going to be the person that's going to ask that question, James. You know, looking into it's now final race of the season, expectations. Who do you think is going to try and jump and get that victory tonight, you reckon?
I'm gonna go complete polar opposite to what you said in qualifying. I'm gonna go Macho for the win. I think he is stronger here around in race pace compared to actual qualifying. He got invalidated in terms of that final lap. So I think Macho for me for the win. He will absolutely live it on me if he doesn't win now. That would be the ultimate commentator's curse on my end, certainly. For second, I'm gonna go Benza, and for third, do you know what? Sammy Chemsey for third, from 19th on the grid.
Well, call. You know, I'm going to go on the complete polar opposite to you, and I think Benzer's going to take it from pole, personally. I think he's going to end up taking this one now. He is on an inverse strategy. No, now he's on the same strategy as Macho, so that's going to be interesting to see. Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine. Louis, I think, has got, based on what I saw in qualifying, his setup looked very, very low downforce. It looked very sort of low on the wings, and with the attention to detail with DRS, he's going to be very quick on the straights, I think. So, one to watch for certain.
Looks like we have got an issue with Kean getting kicked from the lobby, so it looks like the drivers are going to retire once again, therefore adding on to more waffle time for me and Jota in the commentary box, which is not too bad. You will see, there's 5 red lights are about to go out. Kean, I don't think is in control of his car. We'll confirm this just on the stream. And yeah, you can tell everyone just jumping the start, and you can tell that Kean is not in control. Yeah, he's not even there on the left-hand side, so everyone's having a bit of fun there. We're going to go, however, to an intermission break. In fact, no, we're going to go to the standings and have a look at the standings once again before we get out F1 out of context in our case in terms of that start. But Outplayed Racing out on top, F7 in second. Well, the forgotten heroes, I think, in terms of the championship, there was Veloce Academy. They're third on 383 points. They're pretty much in a rock and a hard place. They've got F7R 60 points ahead, and they've got Team Shazoo 62 points behind. So Veloce Academy are going to be really hoping for a very good result out on track tonight, even though they're starting right down at the bottom end of the field.
It's going to be, you know, ones that they're going to want to watch. And I think at the moment, Sammy Chemsey and Christian Block, I mean, as you may know, I've still got the stream, or rather the live stream happening open at the moment, just seeing what's happening. Curiously, both of the Veloce drivers are actually continuing on their laps at the moment. Well, it looks like Christian's just retired, but Sammy Chemsey, I think, is just trying to get an idea of what the circuit is going to be like on hard tyres. So then he's going to make an informed decision of whether he's going to actually start on the hard tyres. So actually, not a bad idea, that from Veloce. We're just trying to get an understanding of what the tyres are going to be like out there, and that may benefit them going through into the race that will eventually start. But Kean obviously disconnecting is disappointing, to say the least. I know F7R actually off of the back of I think it was Abu Dhabi, wasn't it? Ended up having some issues, didn't they, with a driver who also struggled with their internet connection. So the last thing they need now, if they want to take a victory tonight, is for them to have an internet connection issue. So consider them jamming that this has happened right at the start.
Yeah, at least it's happened now, though, and at least it's happened on the formation lap and not on lap 1, lap 2 of the race, and there's no restart. Yeah. So at least we can actually say Kean is going to get the fair chance of a restart. Hopefully, though, everything is going to go according to plan in terms of this restart. Hopefully, it's going to be quite literally third time lucky here on the strip in terms of the racing out on track. We haven't got a point system graphic. I know there was a question there from Spicer showing the point system. There's the standings right now as we have, but I can get the point system up if you really want it. It's 35 points for the win. I definitely know that, and I think it's 28 and 25 for second and third. I'm trying to delay myself in terms of getting these up on the rule book, but we'll read up the point system very shortly indeed. But yeah, we're going to get going very soon indeed. We are, I think, staying in the same lobby, so it's literally just going to be a case of getting Kean in, getting him back in position, and then restarting, and then it saves a whole decent amount of time in terms of the lobby getting reset up and everything else. But Outplayed Racing from F7R from Veloce Academy, that's the main battle to watch out for. Further down the field, though, Jota, we have got further battles down the field. NLR against Novus Racing is an interesting one to point out. 6th and 7th position, 269 to 262. in theory, NLR and Novus could still actually finish 4th in the championship. They're mathematically in contention still.
Yeah, absolutely, and it all depends on them obviously getting generating a fantastic performance that perhaps we haven't seen from NLR or Novus, so far this season. Novus have obviously managed to develop a race victory back in the Netherlands, I think it was, wasn't it? In that fantastic race with strategy calls here, there, and everywhere. But they've only been able to get 1 second and 1 third alongside it, so they're going to need to produce a double podium if they want to have any shouts at being able to get into the top 4. And they're going to have to hope that Team Shazoo ends up, having an absolute, shocker of a race, considering how qualifying has gone. I wouldn't expect that from them, but maybe these constant lobby restarts may just be the catalyst to drivers feeling a little bit uneasy in their car, because obviously the method has sort of broken up a little bit, hasn't it? They've been trying their hardest to get a strategy going, get the race going, and try and keep that sort of mindset going. But with these lobby breaks here, could make or break some people's races here if they can't find that consistency to get back straight into the car and get going again.
Yeah, definitely. So I normally say in commentary about the mental aspect as well. Obviously, having 2 restart, it's not going to be great for the mentality of the drivers out on track. The engineers are going to be waiting. The drivers are going to be waiting. You guys at home are going to be waiting for the action out on track. And it's all getting on your nerves, and I absolutely know that. But we have got Keen in the lobby. We're just going through, I think, the grid and the just checking everything is right, and the settings have not changed or anything else, and they'll be good to go in literally about 2 minutes' time. So hopefully we get going soon. Hopefully we get a good race. It is Las Vegas at the end of the day. It could be utter carnage. May well be utter carnage. If it's not, I'll be very surprised. But if it's not, I'm expecting a very, very decent race, especially from OP and F7R. And hopefully we get to see the age-old battle between them both that I've been absolutely ramping on about since Jota has came back. He doesn't know what I've been on about in terms of OP and F7R, and in terms of me rabbiting on about them. This is the creme de la creme. This could be very interesting indeed out on track. Spicer, by the way, also saying James Head fanboy in my opinion. So thank you very much, Spicer. I'll take that.
I mean, it's a fair comment, I think, on that one, isn't it? We're keeping an eye out, as I think the lobby is just about to get going once again. So we're finally going to be able to get an race of some kind. But the question is who's going to get kicked out next, I wonder? We'll tell you what, we'll put our bets on who the next person is to be kicked out before we put a second bet on race victory, because, I still believe Outplayed Racing have got that consistency to just keep moving forward despite what happened with the lobby restart. So I'm still putting my money on Benza to take victory here tonight. But it is all about if the pressure is going to get to them now, I wonder. So this is what it's all about. We've got a lovely little quiz now in the chat asking the question of who they think the race victors are going to be tonight. 2 points separating Outplayed Racing F7R. F7R absolutely flying at the moment in the poll out there, so keep your votes coming in. We'll have a look at that a little bit later on.
I put the first vote in, by the way, and I have upset OP, I think, in terms of my vote. I'll just put it that way. I'm not going to say who I've put. It's one of the 2 teams of F7R and Veloce Academy. You might be able to work it out just from guessing, but we're about to get going, out on track. I am very excited. I'm on the edge of my seat already, and we haven't even started the 25 laps here in Las Vegas, so this is going to be absolutely fantastic. Spicer, by the way, saying that he loves my commentary. Thank you so much. I've loved commentating on him in the past, and as well as everyone else, and thank you so much to Luke Humphreys and to everyone else behind the scenes for the opportunity granted to me for filling in for you, Jota, as the season's gone on. Of course, you're back for the final couple of rounds of the championship. Fantastic to have you back at that as well. But a big thank you to everyone that has been involved with WOR Legacy Division in the past. But enough about them. 5 red lights about to go out here in Legacy Division for round 15, the season finale. And it is lights out and away we go. And Benza gets a good stop, but not as good as Keane. He might be up the inside and towards turn 1. Benza, though, in the second phase, gets the lead into turn 1. Louis Valentine looking to the inside line on the back of Macho. Slight little bit of lag there, I think, from Lucas or Magician. One of the 2 MVR boys just lagging a little bit, but Macho there in third. Louis Valentine and Jerry Van Bussel are side by side. OP against F7R already as we come up the hill and towards turn number 4. Macho has a slight exit coming through turn number 4, and now boxes in the Louis Valentine on the inside line. Now on the outside line as Kian now is in second of Jerry Van Bussel, nearly in the wall. How on earth he did not hit the wall there, I do not know. Macho there in 4th, Lou's up to 5th, and now looking to the inside line is OP Louis Valentine to the inside line, gets up to 4th position. Front 2 away though, Benza leading, Keenan 2nd, Jerry Van Bussel in 3rd. OP against F7R in the first sector of Las Vegas. You love to see it.
Jerry Van Bussel needed to do that one, though. He's on a set of soft tyres. Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine. Set of hard. Everyone is on a combination of either soft or hard tyres in this strategy, so Van Bussel being able to do that, it's going to allow him to pick up the pace, get up to close and personal with Kian, and put Outplayed Racing under pressure. Louis on the opposite strategy, though. He'll be hoping that the later of the race is going to come to him.
Yeah, definitely so. Kian on down the straight behind Benzer as well. 0.4 of a second. The game down the straight is very phenomenal, as is proven here with Volakongan on the back of Lou. Down and toward the left-hander of turns 16 and 17. Volakongan on that set of hards. Lou on that set of softs. Inside line will favour, though, the Norwegian. To the inside line, the Shazoo man goes. Lou on the outside on their side-by-side. Coming through that part of the track. Grimbolz is right there as well, and he might actually get the double run on them both. Coming through the final corner, it's 3 wide and towards turn 19. Grimbolz is going for the risky business to the inside line. He'll get one. Is he going to get the other? Down in towards turn number 1. Grimbolz side by side with Lou. Down the inside. Can he get the job done? No. He gets Volakongan, though. Nicely done by all 3 of them. Out on track. Lou there in 6th. Grimbolz there in 7th. Fantastic battle. Benzer holds the lead. Keen in 2nd. Jevan Bust in 3rd. Beldorfix and Roofy having a battle further down the field. And Grimbolz gets a phenomenal run up the hill into turn number 4, using a bit of battery, and gets the job done on Lou. He's through and he's into 6th.
Yeah, great exit actually out of that corner for Grimbolz. That's put him up to 6th place. G-League are in a really good position here actually. A 4th out of the soft runners. Now just needs to start considering, are they faster than the hard tyre runners of Shazoo Macho of all people and Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine. So keep an eye out on what Grimbolz does here, because this could be a big points earner for G-League at the final ask of racing here. Towards the back, we've still got a little bit of racing happening here. Here comes Novus Racing's Lucas trying to race against BRT's Old Pino Hano Racing. Furious down the inside line of this next corner. That is going to be a good move if he can get that one done. Gets on the curb, can't get the traction down, but he is going to get the corner out though with that overtake button. Very nicely done, 11th place.
Yeah, very neatly done indeed from Lucas Looney's into 11th. He's got Magician up the road as well, but actually Furious are going to try and come back at him up the hill in towards turn number 16. Is he going to get the job done? Benzer and Kean, by the way, for the race leaders, only a 10th of a second coming at the end of the straight there. Furious on the back of Dan. Dan is actually to the inside line, I think, in all of this. He's looking for the move on Furious, but he can't get the job done. And now Lucas is holding up a bit of a train in behind. Ethan side by side with Volakongan coming out of the final couple of corners as well. Now down the straight. This is where Grimbolz has overtook before. Is Ethan going to do the same thing? The Frenchman now to the inside line of turn number 1. G-League really need this. The old master of Guild taking the podium in PSGL last night gets the job done. That is Ethan Thune. Into 8th position. The new kid on the block for G-League is Thune. He's into 8th. Fantastic racing, and he could even get Lou up the hill and towards turn number 4 if he fancies it, but he doesn't. Position gains early on, by the way. Benzer, Kian not gaining any. Most positions gained, though. NVR Lucas, 5 positions gained on that set of softs. Christian Block and Sammy Chemty for Veloci Academy up 4, and up 3, Magician and Furious. Most positions lost, however. Hazara and Tales both losing 5 positions respectively.
Got to think about strategy though for G-League. They are down on fuel. They have underfueled their car through this race. That's obviously given them that little bit of boost around the corners, and I think that's perhaps what we may be expecting from Grimbolz and Ethan. And on that soft tyre is always going to help them as well. A bit of dirty air though going through that right-hander. He is just trying to keep on the back of Lou, potentially take a 6-7 for G-League, which is again another big points haul for the team. Now at one point you said was there going to be a little bit of a dark horse in this championship, James, and I tell you what, they really have woken up here. Here he comes down the inside line, then does G-League's Ethan up to 7th place, and while this is happening, a change at the front.
Change at the front indeed. Kean Thuney's into the lead of the race. Benzer does not want anything to do with the F7 Arman ahead. To be honest, I don't want to do with anything with Kean either. But Benzer there in 2nd, Jevan Bustle in 3rd. I mean that, by the way, with him being out on track, not because Kean is a fantastic driver. Benzer there and Jevan Bustle in pursuit as well. Louis Valentine is in 5th along with Macho. They're holding up everyone else in the field. It's a 1.6 second gap, but the hard compound tyre will come into effect around about lap 7, lap 8 as Lifeboat and Christian Block are side by side in towards turn 1. Sammy Chensey, though, doesn't care that Lifeboat's on the outside of him. He'll get the job done and actually swap positions with his own teammate, and that's neatly done from Veloci Academy. Sammy Chensey, Thuney's into 14th on the better strategy, on the better compound tyre. Thuney's into 14th. Christian Block, though, has been outdone now by Lifeboat. Could be outdone by Hazara running up the hill here as well. Into turn number 4, Hazara looks the inside line. The Norwegian can't get the job done. Kian leading the way. Benzer there in 2nd, Jevan Bustle there in 3rd, and Keki Roosbury there in the chat, or KK Roosbury in the chat, saying Christmas has come early. It has indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just taking a look at the ERS strategy at the moment here as well, and I'll tell you what, not the first time we've seen a Veloce Academy driver use up all their ERS so early on. Christian Block down to only 16 and 15% as he's not even on the main straight at the moment, so he will get the DRS, but he's going to struggle with ERS management, and that is going to be a critical problem, I suspect, here, as the overtake button not being used, though, for Outplayed Racing's Benzo as he gets closer and closer to Kian, and it will be another re-overtake in the lead, and Outplayed Racing back at the front.
There's a yellow flag, and I think Bell Rofix is in the wall right in the background. He's actually collided with Roofy. So Roofy and Bell Rofix in strife, coming through the left-hander there at turn 13 on the run down the straight. Roofy there in 19th, Bell Rofix in 20th. Both, I think, have got damage as well, as you've just alluded to there. Roofy, I'm just looking on forward with, has got right on them plate damage, and I think Bell Rofix could have as well. Kean on the back, though, of Bender, 2/10 to the race lead, as Macho's looking to the inside line on Louis Valentine again. Potentially Shazoo going to be uplining the apple cart, potentially upsetting the apple cart even, as Roofy picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not going to suit him either in terms of this race. NLR are down there in 19th, Tallers there in 18th as well. Not the best start for NLR in this race. Keane once again on the back of Benzer, not looking for the move done. It is just calm before the storm right now in Las Vegas, but there is a yellow flag, and that is Roofy retiring in the pit lane. Bell Rofix, I would think, will stay out there just to try and get a little bit of pride back in the race and try and get some points. Safety cars all prevalent around this track. You may as well stay out there.
Valera Fox is absolutely going to be told by his teammate, do not come into the pits to retire. We need every point we can get in order to make sure we finish 10th in a 10-team championship. And FRT have already got at least a few points on the board at the moment through Dan, but it won't be enough to finish in 10th place as it currently stands at the moment. Towards the front, the battle's still happening. F7R are at the moment looking like they're going to be taking a championship with second and third, but Louis Valentine is, of course, on the opposite strategy. Here comes Kian, though, to retake the lead once again, as F7R will now make it a 1-3.
Yeah, neatly done from Kian. Throoney's into the lead of the race. Macho as well as Throoney's into fourth, and Louis Valentine, so that is neatly done from the Chazoo man. So as it stands right now, yeah, you're right, F7R would take the championship at 40 points to I've just seen the points system. 40 points to 32 to 27. As it stands right now, with my quick maths that is going on, Kian, at the minute, would be out on top. 40 points for him. Joe Van Bussel on 27. That's 67 by my calculations. OP would be on 32 and 22. 64. 2 points gap. They only win by a point as it stands right now.
Just keeping an eye on what's happening with Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine. I didn't see a mistake from Louis Valentine, but he apparently is now down in 5th place on my screen, which I think may end up being some kind of lag spike. So Macho now up to 4th place. I don't know, has Macho been in 4th place all this time? But to me, it looked like Louis Valentine was in 4th at one point. If that is the case, then that is going to be disappointing.
Yeah, he got him down the straight down, and we didn't see it. I certainly caught up with it just afterwards, though. Macho there getting the move done on Louis Valentine. He's through, and he's into 4th. I have realised, by the way, that my maths is wrong because Louis Valentine's in 5th. I thought he was in 4th as well. Don't worry. Yeah. Macho there is in 4th. 18 points is what Louis Valentine will be getting, so it's 50 points for OP. F7R, regardless of the maths and my GCSE math skills, would take the championship as it stands, and I think I have it right now at, I'm tempted to say,
510 versus 495 as it currently is at the moment between F7R and Outplayed Racing. And of course, this is all pending those changes. Oh my goodness me, Jerry Van Bussel just completely spinning out on my screen then. And I think it might have been a lag spike. So he is back in the game there. That was a real serious lag spike there, but he is back in 3rd place, but he's getting close to his teammate now.
Yeah, that is only on your end. I think that's occurred. He was absolutely fine on my end. Very, very strange goings on indeed. Keen looking to the inside line though on Bender. Not going to get the job done there. F7 just biding their time right now. ERS management a big key around this track as well. We're going to see Magician and Sammy Chempsey side by side in towards turn number 1 though. Red Bull there on the back of the Williams. Can't get the job done. Maybe on the outside of turn number 3 he might get a good run coming out of the corner. The sort of hard definitely coming into play. Vola Congan latching onto the back of the front train as well. And here comes Sammy Chempsey, 3-time winner in Legacy Division this season, to the inside on the Magician. And that is the easiest overtake you'll see all night from Sammy Chempsey. He is through and he's into 10. And also side by side in the background is MVR's Lucas on the back of Furious. Furious there. Not Furious with that one. He's now ahead of Lucas and he's through and he's into P14.
Macho finding his Macho out there at the moment, though, because he's now got within 3.5 tenths of the soft tyre runners here, and that is my sneaky suspicion on this one here is because the top three have got so close, they've been sort of fighting in between the corners, and they've been losing time as a result of that, and they've invited the hard tyre runners back into the mix, and that's the last thing you need to do if you're on the inverse strategy. If you're on the hard tyre to start off with, this is a beautiful opportunity. You can earn time off those on the soft tyre, and then you go onto the soft later down the line. You have got a shout at winning this one. Louis Valentine has decided he wants to overtake Macho while this is all happening, and Kian is now back in front of Benza. Jerry Van Bussel also looking like he wants to make it an F7R 1-2 going down the inside line. He'll have to defend it, but I don't think Benza's going to have the opportunity to. They're colliding, and they've got into a spin out, and Van Bussel is at the wall, and he's got massive front wing damage. That is a make or breaker potentially for the championship.
It is indeed, and Louis Valentine as a result through, and he's into second. OP and F7R once again in strife. It has happened pretty much every single race this season. Jerry Van Bussel, by the way, still continuing on with that damage. I think he's going to get told, if there's an incident, stay out there. You are now the roadblock in our championship, and you could cost Shizou as well in terms of Veloce Academy, so that's something to watch out for as well. Louis Valentine, though, and Benza side by side up the hill, in towards turn number 4, gets the job done. So Benza doing he's into second. Louis Valentine there in third. Jerry Van Bussel, though, an absolute strife. It was difficult. I could understand what both of them were doing. I think Jerry Van Bussel, to be fair, had too much overspeed going into the corner. Benza was so far on the left-hand side, they basically came across on each other, intersecting through the chicane, and unfortunately, side-by-side does not really work through that chicane. They found that out the hard way. Louis Valentine in third, Jerry Van Bussel in fifth. Easily could have been avoided, but in the end, it hasn't, and in the end, OP and F7R, that's the big talking point of the race, and lap 8 out of 25.
I mean, that is what, lap 8 of 25, and we've still got plenty of racing to go in this race. DRS is going to be open here. I think Macho might be opening up an opportunity versus Louis Valentine. A lot of people, a lot of debate happening in the chat at the moment about whose fault it is. One, I'm going to commit the cardinal sin of commentating and say that I don't agree with you here. Oh, look at Macho flying down the straight here. Could be getting a double overtake on both of the outplayed racing drivers here, and that is one hell of an overtake from Shizou Macho, who gets a double overtake on the outplayed racing drivers. I'm going to have to commit the cardinal sin and say I don't agree with you on this one. If you want my honest opinion, it looked to me as if that outplayed racing were just going for a gap that wasn't there, ends up chopping Jerry Van Bussel and ends up causing a spin into the wall, but it looks like he's going to get cut off, and Macho stays in second place. Good overtake from Shizou, and outplayed racing are going to be scratching their heads of how they're back in third and fourth.
Macho, to be honest, they're showing what OP and F7R should have done the lap before and actually get for the move done. One of them should have committed. In the end, I think they just came across on each other through that chicane. Here comes Grimbos as well on the back of Jerry Van Bussel. With that damage, Jerry Van Bussel is still there in fifth, but not for long. Grimbos is so light on the brakes into turn number 4. Catching you off guard there. Definitely not catching me off guard. The Alpine is through and he's into fifth. Jerry Van Bussel with that damage still staying out right now. Francesco's mentioning that Jerry's the villain right now. May not be. Leave it up to the stewards. As I said in the chat, in Discord, before we came live, this will get decided in the stewards room. I have an absolute guaranteed feeling it will definitely now be in the stewards room, regardless of what happens now in this race. Kian, though, was handed a 1.9 second lead over Macho in second, but this is the time and the place where the hard compound tires begin to come into play. So Macho and Louis Valentine, no matter how much they might hate each other, they've got to work together at this point as Louis goes for the move on Macho. Easy as you like, 30 into second.
Yeah, up to second. Kian still in first at the moment, though. And of course, remember, Louis is also potentially facing a 10-second penalty for an impediment that happened in qualifying involving one of the other drivers. I believe it was Tales for NLR. We've got more overtakes happening. Looks like Dan up to 11th. But because of that, you've got potentially Louis Valentine with a 10-second penalty. I believe it was Louis also involved in that incident with Jerry Van Bussel, who now enters into the pit lane to get off of that horrible, horrible front wing and get onto a set of hards to the end of this race. 15 laps into on a set of hards should be doable. Question is he going to take a gamble here and actually go onto a set of mediums to try and make up the time? We'll see. It is a set of medium tyres. He's going to try and use the medium tyres to make up the time lost in the pit lane, replacing that front wing, and he falls all the way far down as P18.
He is going to be P18. He's going to be ahead of Christian Block, though, quite easily coming out the pit lane. Christian's actually coming through turn 19 right now. Magician is also in the pit lane. He's coming for a set of medium compound tyres. He'll be thinking, why on earth have I got Jerry Van Bussel ahead of me with a broken front wing, and why on earth am I so close to him right now? FVR definitely doing well, though, with Magician, as is Louis Valentine, though, on the back of Kian. It's now nearly a second the gap And obviously, the set of soft compound tyres definitely going off. Kian there leading, Louis Valentin in second, but Louis has run out of battery completely. He's got no battery left. He's got 5% of battery. Kian's on 13%. Macho's on 33%. Macho, if he uses up any amount of this ERS down the straight, he's going to be like a speed demon speeding in the centre of Las Vegas running down that straight. As Volakongan is going to do the same thing on the back of Grimballs. Fooney's into 5th, and he could even get Benza for 4th if he's going to be speeding like he is down the straight. Grimballs are trying to come back at him though. In the background, the Alpine will not get the job done, and that is Shazoo Volakongan through, and he's into 5th. And my opinion, by the way, on the Jerry Van Bussel medium compounded tyres, I think that's the right call.
Yeah, absolutely is the right call. Got to try and make up the time that he's lost getting the front wing changed, and of course all the time he's lost with the damaged front wing. And curiously though, the Outplayed Racing Louis is not coming in, despite the fact he's got 0% ERS going into the corner. He's actually made a mistake, missing his apex going into turn 1, so he's actually leaving Macho up for a potential opportunity to make some overtakes here. Benza stays out as well, but other people coming in. Kian also coming in, fresh set of medium tyres for him. He's going to come out behind Tales. And Grimbo's also in 15th, also in to get onto a set of medium tyres. Jerry Van Bussel will be coming out. He will be behind Kian, but it will be a few seconds difference, I suspect, on that one. And towards the middle ground, by the way, Shazoo absolutely flying high on the 2 hard tyres at the moment. I think they're the dark horses in this race.
Definitely the dark horses in this race indeed. Lou's up to 5th, by the way, overtaking Ethan up the hill and towards turn number 4. Very nicely done indeed from Lou. Ethan now can just sit back and relax. Who did I predict for pole P3, by the way? Sammy Chempsey. He's there in 7th position right now. He has absolutely gone through the field as if they're just sitting still, like ducks in a pond. Sammy Chempsey is flying out on track. He's on that set of hard compounded tyres. Ethan and Lou don't come in. Sammy Chempsey's going to be on the back, and he's going to be an absolute demon on the back of them as well, as Macho's going to go for the race lead, it seems, on the back of Louis Valentin. Down the strip we come once again. The Shazoo man pulls to the right-hand side, gets the job done. Louis Valentin gets back in the slipstream. Is he going to find the speed from anywhere? No. 211 mile an hour compared to 215. Macho into the lead of the race, running down into turn 14.
Volakongan has requested to come into the pit box, so I have a feeling here Shazoo are going to be making the call of the first drivers to come out on the set of hard tyres. Benza is going to the inside though. Remember, same set of soft tyres is coming on. Volakongan is staying out 1 lap later, so that is the end of the soft tyre run for Benza. That means the top 3, of course, will all be on hards. Lou is also in, and G-League's Ethan also into the pit lane. Sammy Chempsey on the same set of hard tyres that he started on, now up to 4th place. It's a good race so far from the Valache Academy driver. I'm sure the Twitter feed is looking very sharp at the moment for the Valache Academy, with Sammy Chempsey now up to 4th. Dan up in 5th, by the way, as well on the hard tyre, so he'll be relatively happy with the performance of the Future Racing team. And of course, BRT's Furious in 6th place, ET8 rounding out 7th and 8th.
Matthew Hall wanting a safety car in the chat as well. I'm wanting a Furious Dan battle coming through turn number 4 as it comes down towards turns 5, 6, and indeed turn number 7. Sitting still like ducks in a pond. Yeah, it's not a typo, it's what I said, and yeah, it's pretty true. Sitting still like ducks in a pond. There we go. Dan and Furious there in 6th position. Macho leading the way at the halfway stage. Here is the roll call. Macho leads from Louis Valentin in 2nd. Volakongan in 3rd. Sammy Chempsey now in 4th. Down there in 5th with Furious in 6th. Hazara 7th. Lifebound in 8th. Kian out of the fresh runners is in 9th. Tales in 10th. Grimballs now Thuney's into 11th on the back of Lucas. They're actually running side by side as they come on board with them. So Grimballs now ahead of Lucas. Thuney's into 11th. Benza there 13th. Jerry Van Bussel 14th. Then Lou. Then Ethan, Magician, Christian Block. And then Belmofox right down at the back of the field. Myself, James Head, and Mr. Jota totally through the action here in Lexi Division. Season 3, the season finale here in Las Vegas. Already a good race and already getting better for ET8 because Hazara to the inside line gets the job done, and Dan and Furious follow suit as well.
Keeping a firm eye on the situation as regards of Kian at the moment as well. So we've got Macho coming into the pit lane, the first of the hard tyre runners, then at the front trying to come in on strategy here. Kian at the moment is really struggling with his ERS. He's dipping below 10%, so his McLaren Mercedes is going to be down on power. But he is trying his hardest, I think, to try and obviously jump those that have gone on the hard tyre, which is absolutely, or that started on the hard tyre rather, which is absolutely fine. Just keep an eye out on what's going to be happening with Kian later in this race, because if he can't get his ERS management up, which of course is going to be particularly tricky at a circuit where basically everything is straight, we're going to be in for an absolute blinder. Macho leaving the pit lane, fresh set of medium tyres. They're going to be cold. Van Bussel's going to be out on his heels.
Yeah, Van Bussel's actually got a little bit of pain because Grimballs is right on the back of him, coming out of the pit lane, and Grimballs now looking to get the job done in towards turn number 4. Can't get the job done there. Jerry Van Bussel through, and he's there in 10th. Grimballs there in 11th. So Jerry Van Bussel stays ahead. Grimballs having that fight, but Macho is 7/10 clear of them. Kean has got a big undercut right now. He has got a fantastic undercut indeed, and actually, Lifebound is going to let him through, which I never thought would happen. ET8 are having an absolute field day with F7R. Somebody's been in their back pocket with Lifebound letting through Kian. Louis Valentine, though, is getting overtaken by Volakongan for the race lead. Volakongan now leads. Louis Valentine better in terms of his ERS management. He'll be coming in the pit lane, I would suspect, this lap around along with Volakongan. Volakongan will definitely be in if Machos came in the lap earlier. Macho, speaking of which, is on the back of Tales, coming down the strip as well. Grimballs, Jerry Van Bussel, Ethan, all within the line. Line of stun as they run down the straight. Tales and Macho side by side, easy as you like. For the man in P8, the Dutchman through on the Brazilian, and Macho through and he's into P8, and both of them, of course, racing in PSGL F2 this season as well, so good battle being shown. From there, as Volakongan and Louis Valentine, as I said, about 30 seconds ago, are in the pits on lap 14.
Sammy Chemsey then leading the race from the front, but Kian now up to 4th place as a result of that one, and I tell you what, that no one realises how critical that overtake from Lifebout, or letting him through from Lifebout, is that for Kian, because it means he's going to have very little traffic ahead of him now. He may end up having a little bit of a battle with Dan here, who of course is battling with Furious and Sammy Chemsey, but Lifebout is using the DRS as well as the abundance of ERS management that he's actually done throughout this race to stay within touching distance and gain time off of the back of Kian. So actually, not a bad idea from Lifebout for ET8 in their individual race, of course, looking to try and get as many points as they can towards the midfield of this championship. Kian, though, as he's now getting onto the back of Dan, is going to get a DRS for the rest of this particular stint. Question is, how easy is that overtake going to be?
Jerome, by the way, mentioning that Benza potentially has got damage. I don't think he has. I think Benza's just got stuck behind people and he's going nowhere quickly. Volakongan and Louis Valentine are behind him, and he's got an undercut on them, but he hasn't got an undercut on the rest of the field, which is disappointing. Benza, I don't think has got any damage. Certainly not visible to me anyways. He's there in 11th position as Macho's through on Lifebout down the straight. Jerry Van Bussel and Ethan are side by side. Jerry Van Bussel is losing positions now. And here comes BRT Lou for the action as well on the back of Jerry Van Bussel. Could potentially get 3 wide down the straight here. Jerry Van Bussel and Ethan now going side by side. Jerry Van Bussel's right on the back of Grimballs. They're 3 wide nearly in towards turn 14. This is going to end an absolute tragedy for somebody if they're not careful. Lou gets the inside line, and anyways, all of them through without a scratch on any of the cars. Fantastic to see. Ethan through, he's in 7th. Grimballs there in 8th. G-League now have control of the chasing pack, but now look at BRT Lou trying to get involved as well. Now side by side between the 2 G-League boys, and there goes Grimballs up the inside line, getting the job done. More importantly though, Benza now going side by side with Volakongan, going side by side now coming through turns 2 and 3. Lou and Jerry Van Bussel are quite close as well, along with Ethan. Benza there on the back of Volakongan gets a really good switchback coming out of turn number 3. Run up the hill towards turn number 4. Sammy Chemsey now leading from Kian in 2nd. Furious there in 3rd. I think has had a little bit of an issue, so he's dropped 2 positions for the price of 1. Benza can't find the way through, but Sammy Chemsey now leading. Keen in 2nd. Veloce Academy definitely sticking Sammy Chemsey out there, either to cause a little bit of chaos or to go on a set of soft compound tyres.
Ian has just ever so slightly given a little bit of a tap to Sammy Chemsey on the back end there to say, I am there and I am going to be making an overtake on you very quickly because I need to get this done. He's losing so much time to Macho at the moment, who is breathing down the neck of Furious at the moment. So Kian, all of that effort he's spent to try and make inroads on these soft tyres as early as he possibly can is being completely undone by traffic, of all places, at here in Las Vegas, on the straights of Las Vegas for that matter. Kian, though, is now out of ERS, and unfortunately for him, the people around him certainly don't. Here comes Furious, who's looking to go around the outside. Sammy Chemsey's going to defend down the inside line. Kian is going to have to defend down the inside line. Sammy Chemsey's made a mistake. It's going to be through there as Shazoo Macho makes the overtake on Furious and makes it a 1-2 on those 2 medium tyres. How they did not get into a massive crash there, I do not know. Sammy Chemsey has had enough. He doesn't want any involvement in this, and I don't blame him. Veloce Academy pits him. He's off of the hards.
Sammy Chemsey, how on earth? He rejoined track. I'm not saying dangerously. He rejoined track in a manner which you would thought would be contact completely. How on earth Macho and Furious managed to fit through? It's not even 2 wide through there, let alone 3 wide. And how on earth they've managed to hit just a little bit of a graze on each other, I do not know. Fantastic car control by every single one of them. That is how you race, quite literally, around here. And that is how you control a car around here in Las Vegas as well.
Absolutely, I've got no other comment for that one. It's brilliantly crafted there. Is Macho trying to get closer and closer to his own excellent crafting of an overtake here. Just as FYI, by the way, as a result of that, both of the ERS management of both of the drivers is now completely down and out of the floor. So at the moment, it's all going to be around the raw energy of the power units behind them, which of course is all going to be matched with a bit of a lag spike as well from Macho, who was looking to try and get a, well, fantastic victory nonetheless for Team Shizou, of course, looking to try and get, counteract after a bad performance so far as it stands. The Veloce Academy, who are in 16th and 17th respectively, not a single point is going to be falling in in the fact of Veloce Academy. Macho takes the lead.
Volakongan is absolutely scything his way through. Could get 3 down the strip. Passing Ethan, passing Grimballs, passing Furious as he wasn't even there. Parting of the Red Sea from Volakongan. He is in a red car at the end of the day, and Volakongan's through and he's into P3. That was marvellous, marvellous racing once again, and Volakongan on the fresher compound tyre, scything his way, parting the Red Sea, getting the job done, and now he's off in pursuit of much better drivers on much older tyres. Volakongan there in third has got a chance of winning this. Macho and Volakongan have got a chance potentially, Jota, of making this a 1-2 for Shizou.
It could be a massive, massive victory here for Team Shizou as well as it stands. Volakongan on the youngest set of medium tyres as well versus everyone around him, so it's a real golden opportunity. Yellow flags waved in the second sector, by the way. That is for slow NVR Lucas on 15-lap-old soft tyres. I believe he has a puncture, and he does. He has a rear right puncture. He's tried to get the soft tyres to the end. He has gone massively out of the window of those soft tyres, and he's now going to have to come back to the pit lane in what has been a disappointing race in the end for the final race of the season for that Novus Racing driver. As it stands so far, though, advantage, I did say, Team Shizou are dark horses in this one. They're the favourites now.
Yeah, they are the favourites indeed. Volakongan has caught a second on this lap time as well. Kian on the back of Macho, still trying to play with that ERS, still trying to play with the man in front of him. The Dutchman and his fellow countryman running down the straight once again. Looks like Kian's going to go for the move, though, to the inside line. Gets the job done, and Kian now through, back into the race lead. Macho doesn't care about that. It's lap 17 out of 25. They can knock 10 balls out of each other, and they still wouldn't care, because it all depends on the final lap of the race around here in Las Vegas. It all depends on who has saved the most ERS down the strip. It all depends on who has got the balls, quite literally, to win here in Las Vegas as well. Jonah Martin saying there in the chat, OP not so OP strategy. Sadly not. Unfortunately, there is side by side though between Grimballs and Ethan once again. The G League guys 4th and 5th, and actually Grimballs goes so far off track. I thought he was going to the Nevada desert right there. Ethan through and he's into 4th. Grimballs there in 5th, but there is a yellow flag. That's Christian Block out. That is a safety car. Veloce Academy, Christian Block crashing on the exit of turn 18, that is. Unfortunate for him, Belrofix is a little way behind. Hopefully the car is gone now. We'll see. Hopefully the incident involving him. Belrofix, though, coming out through the left-hand of 16, 17, then through the 18. He at the wall there, actually, Belrofix. But I think what's probably happened is Lucas picked up a speeding through penalty. It looks as if Christian has probably just lost that by himself.
Just FYI, by the way, I've just updated the tables as well, thanks to Luke also helping out as well. We're just trying to get things at the back end at the moment. You know that overtake for Kian on Macho is the difference between Team Shizou finishing 3rd and 4th as it stands. Wow. The gap between Veloce Academy and Team Shizou as it stands is 3 points as it stands, and that is astronomical considering the Veloce Academy have of course started later in this championship. They are going to get 3rd and automatically qualify for season 4 by just 3 points as it stands. Every point counts. G League are in a real opportunity with 4th and 5th as well. This is going down to the wire as it stands towards the top. As F7R at the moment are going to be winning this championship by 24 points as it stands. But of course, with this safety car out now, with only, 6-7 laps to go. Oh, this is anybody's championship. Game on.
Game on indeed, and what that does occur as well, Christian Block out of the race. Veloce Academy cannot win the title now, so it's between F7R and OP, as pretty much I think we all thought about it coming into tonight. It's between the top 2 teams, as everyone is filtering into the pit lane. Everyone's going to go on a set of soft compound attire, and I would imagine this is going to be hell for leather right to the checkered flag. Kian and Macho are into the pit lane. Kian there getting out ahead, but Volakongan has been held up by Macho in the pit lane. This could be an absolute disaster for the Shizou man. Volakongan's actually got out ahead behind Ethan. Ethan is now in 3rd. G-League, how on earth has that happened? Grimballs came in the pit lane, I think behind him all of a sudden, but Ethan is now in third, Volokongan in fourth, Lou there in fifth. Ethan definitely trying to take it out the handbook of GLGL, picking up the podium in PSGL around the Temple of Speed last night.
As it stands then, that means Team Shizou will end up missing out on the on third place rather, by even more points now as a result of that one. So they're going to want to try and get past and get G-League past them as quickly as they possibly can, with only a 5-lap dash to the end of this race. It is absolutely a sprint race to the end of this race with everyone on fresh soft tyres. Gulp is the word that comes to my mind. This is going to be a little bit moronic from some of these drivers, I think, who are going to want to try and push all the way to the end with fresh ERS, fresh soft tyres, and fresh front wings. So I think for some people's front wings are going to need to be replaced again, I think.
Yeah, definitely so. This is going to be bad. If anybody saw PSGL around here, by the way, that final lap of the race, Aurelian and the likes making contact. I think Jerry Van Bussel was involved in that. Jerry Van Bussel wasn't involved in that, but it was one of the F7R drivers. I think it might have been Yossi who got involved in it. If anybody saw that final lap of the race, just take your mind back, cast your mind back to that and think of what we've got to come here in Las Vegas in Legacy Division, because the same might just occur here over the next 6 laps also. Kian leading the way from Macho in second, Ethan there in third, then Volokongan in fourth. Lou, by the way, the only man from Xbox in the top 10 right now. Fair play to him. He's doing a fantastic job for BRT in fifth. Benza there in 6th, Jerron Bussell in 7th, then Grimballs in 8th, Hazara there in 9th, Louis Valentin in 10th, and Furious in 11th, Tellers in 12th. Tellers, by the way, is now in the points for NLR. He was right down at the bottom end of the field. He's staying out, though, on that set of medium compound, and Tellers feeling he can't get the softs unless he hasn't got a set of softs to the end of the race. Magician, Lifebed, and Sammy Chemsey top 15. Sorry, yeah, Magician and Lifebed top 15. And Sammy Chemsey out of the points at the minute for Veloce Academy. They're currently out of running in terms of the championship battle. Belvofix in 17th and Lucas there in 18th position is your roll call on lap 20 out of 25 with 6 laps to go here in the strip, here in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Get your predictions in now. A, what is going to happen? B, who you think is going to win? And see if my prediction's going to be right in terms of Sammy Chumsey getting the P3, which at the minute, it doesn't look likely.
I was going to answer those with crash, probably not, and why not? It's pretty shocking out there at the moment, to say the least, that we've now got all of these drivers on fresh soft tyres, except Tales, by the way, fresh mediums for him. So perhaps he hasn't got a new set of soft tyres available. You've won a little bit of funny before we get racing, by the way. I'm pleased I'm not streaming this anymore, because for a brief second, the safety car decided to jump over the bump, over the crest of one of the corners, and then fall straight through the map. So for a brief second, we had absolutely no safety car whatsoever on my screen. But I think on yours, we've got a safety car, no issue. But yeah, I was very curious on that one. With lap 20 of 25, the last couple of drivers are going to be getting to the back here. I have a feeling we're going to be getting racing at the end of this lap here, and that will be a 5-lap dash to the end. This is definitely a classic sprint race. I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a blinder.
At this moment in time, Alfie there mentioning in the chat who is winning the championship at the minute. It is F7R, because F7R are outscoring OP. No matter where OP finishes right now, F7R with Kian is doing more than enough to wrap up the championship. The overlay is still on the top end of your screen. That's the points coming into tonight. 2 points separating. Kian gaining 40, passes OP completely with just him. And if it only is him in the points and OP are there further down the field, Kian would wrap up the championship for F7R on his lonesome. We are going to get the safety car coming in this lap. It's going to be around about now, I would expect. May come a little bit later, coming to the chicane. Kian now is the virtual Bird Marlander. He will be the virtual safety car out on track. We'll get going very late in terms of a safety car restart. It'll be around about here. It'll come in. But Kian, are we going to get another lap? No, we are. Safety car is going to come in this lap. Kian, now the virtual Boat Marlander, now the virtual safety car. Everyone now, as the safety car is going around the track. The safety car has missed the pit lane, going through now into turn number 19. The safety car on my screen, at least, as Kian now gets going. Surely it's going to be deployed as well, the safety car, but the safety car is out on track here. Kian leads the way. Macho second, Ethan there in third, and I think everyone's realising now that the safety car is out on track. They don't know what is going on. They have seen something on their end. We've, I think, clearly got a spectator glitch on our end. The race is still going on. Kian leads the way, Macho second, Ethan there in third, but the safety car is still out on track.
safety car is still out. We've seen this before where the safety car misses. The call to come into the pit lane is too late and the safety car AI can't match it. So at the moment, everyone is now going to be at a slow crawl behind the safety car. They are going to be limited as well by their acceleration pedal. So we are actually going to have a 4-lap dash to the end. If the safety car doesn't come in at the end of this lap, this race will be postponed. And no doubt at the end of the 20th lap, there your standings as it currently is on the left-hand side will be on a 5-lap dash to the end of this race on a race restart, and that will determine whoever the championship will be. We'll see what the safety car, how the safety car behaves at the end of this one, but we've seen this before in games gone by. I've never seen it in this game, but it returns, and what a time for this to happen, for a game mechanic failure to happen right at the death of the season finale to determine a champion. And at the moment, it is an absolute mixed bag, and we may be having now another race restart as a result. We'll see what the safety car does. It's just going through the second sector now. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens indeed. Yeah, the safety car is going down the strip right now. Kian, they're all sticking almost for Delta time. They must see the safety car different to what we are seeing it clearly on our stream, because it is an absolute... I mean, this is the biggest team event out there on console right now. And this is what we've got to deal with on that 21 out of 25 with 4 laps to go in a season finale. The game is an absolute joke. I'll put it that way. The game is an absolute joke. Kian now is slowing to an absolute crawl. Your Gran could probably drive faster than what these cars are doing right now down the strip. Macho, I think, has just contacted the back there of Kian. But they're so unsure of what to do. The safety car is now in this lap. Are we going to get going down the strip in terms of the racing? This is going to be absolutely... I don't know how this is going to go, but it's going to go one way or another. Kian leading the way, Macho in second, Ethan there in third. The green flags, by the way, we can see on the left-hand side of the track where everything is going to get going. They are still flashing yellow with the safety car figure on the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the track. You can't really see it here, but it looks like now the drivers, as they come through turn 16, 17 and 18 for the 21st occasion, it looks like hopefully we're going to get back underway. Oh, the safety car is still there, though, at the end of the pit lane.
He is still there at the pit lane. That is curious. We'll see what happens. The drivers are just sort of preparing themselves for a race restart by the looks of things. So here we go. They're going to just weave the track and just weave on the track. We'll try and warm up the tyres just in case we do get going here. We'll keep an eye out, as well as you rightfully point out, on the boards on the circuit, because if they remain flashing yellow, this race will be restarted on the 20th lap. So here he goes then, and there goes Kian as he tries to get going. We do go green again here, and the green flags are waving. We're racing.
Thank God for that. Kian leads the way down towards turn number 1. Macho and Ethan, second and third. Lou there, right on the back of Volakongan as well. Tales, by the way, got caught completely off guard in that restart. Louis Valentin, Furious, Grimbles, and Azara all passing him. But now they come up the hill and towards turn number 4. Isn't it good to see 200-mile-an-hour cars going up the hill in towards turn number 4? Hazara, Louis Valentin, and Grimbles neatly side by side. Louis Valentin is side by side with Grimbles. Grimbles now side by side with Furious in towards turn number 4. Can't get the job done. Kian now leads the way. They're side by side though with Joe Van Bussel to the inside line. A Magician. I wonder if he's got a little bit of damage on the car. Certainly getting forced out wide. Hazara there making contact with him. The Mercedes just about gets around them. I think Magician though has got right side end plate damage on that car. Certainly looks likely, like me in my league race around here, that is going to be uncontrollable for him. Kian leading the way, Macho in second, Ethan there in third, but they're now onto the strip for the 22nd time. Macho within range now on Kian. Down the strip they come.
Volakongan's not had a good run out of that safety car period, because he's now starting to lose time to the front 3. G-League Ethan, G-League could be on for a podium as it stands. Shizou lead every point as they can as Benza gets promoted up to P5. Volakongan needs to find the pace rapidly here if they want to get Shizou into third place in this championship. Hazara down to 10th. Wow, look at this.
Louis Valentin gets them both down in towards the strip, down in towards turn 16, gets the job done. Louis Valentin through, and he's into 8th position. Marvellous racing from him. He is definitely a man that is cooking for OP right now. They need every point they can get in terms of the championship. Ethan setting the fastest lap of the race and dives it to the inside line. At turn number 1, can't find the way through though on Macho. The front 3 just about to get away, but Volakongan through this part of the track will definitely gain back the time and gain within that DRS range and that slipstream range once again. Joe Van Bussel though is a man possessed right now for F7R. He's on the back of Lou, running up the hill and towards turn number 4. This should be easy for Joe Van Bussel. Lou's not going to defend that. Joe Van Bussel through, and he's into 6th. And my favourite line in Ladies Division, Joe Van Bussel hustles up to 6th.
Nice, like that one. He's keeping an eye out as well on that one. That means the current standings as it stands, 28 points the difference for F7R to take the championship tonight versus Outplayed Racing. Veloce Academy 383. Team Shazoo is still on 375. So as it stands, they're going to miss out on that automatic qualifying position and only finish in 4th place, which would be so disappointing. Valakonga will be told, you need to pick up the pace now. We need to get past G-League's Ethan, and Macho will be breathing down the neck of Kian. Kian may even say, you know what, you can take the race victory. I don't want to battle it out here. F7R have got the championship, even if Kian doesn't win it tonight. Let's see what happens. Here he comes then. Macho getting closer, but not aiming to get past him immediately. He's hesitating on the accelerating pedal. G-League won't care. He'll want to get the move done. And here comes Macho. They may potentially going to go 3 wide. G-League Ethan in the end electing not to go for it.
Yeah, and Volakongan all of a sudden, look at that, because they were playing games, Volakongan's now right on the back of him, and he could even get the job done on Ethan coming through turn 19 if he really wants this for Shazoo. The Norwegian there on the back of the Frenchman, Ethan there in 3rd, Volakongan in 4th, the penultimate lap, Hero Legacy Division about to get underway, and Kian leads the way. Macho defends to the centre of the road, Volakongan tries to go all the way around the outside. Is this going to be a block effect from the Shazoo man? Is Volakongan going to get through into turn number 3? Ethan is still there on the outside line. Absolutely fantastic racing through the first part of the lap. We'll go on forward with Benta as they run up the hill towards turn number 4. Volakongan and Ethan are still side by side. Still the block effect going on. Volakongan, though, I don't think can find a way through, or can he? Louis Valentin, Benza getting involved in this as well, and Ethan is still there in 3rd. Absolutely brilliant. Volakongan will risk that for Chocolate Biscuit, but he can't find the job done. Volakongan into 4th. Shazoo tried as they must to block him. Ethan had other ideas.
That is one of the best defensive efforts I have ever seen in esports racing between teams, because G-League's Ethan was boxed in and he still held on to the podium. That is a great bit of defense from G-League of the French outfit on their final race here tonight, and they're looking on for a great podium, getting close to Macho in that one here as Valakongan is getting closer, but he's used up a bunch of ERS and he's still using it as he's tried to get closer and closer to Ethan, and he is getting quite close indeed. Here he comes then. Is he going to go around the inside line? He's getting boxed in again, but that looks like it's going to be a move done for Valakongan. He's getting helped out by Macho in the straight as well. They're going 3 wide. This is getting really tight here with Jerry Van Bossel. Valakongan also going to get overtaken here by Benza.
Escalated tears coming through the last couple of corners through 10-14. How on earth they got through there without making contact, I do not know. Jerry Van Bossel now ahead of Ethan. He's picking up the slipstream from Benza. How is Jerry Van Bossel beside Benza in all of this? This is still on for OP potentially. Still on for F7R. There's a yellow flag in the final sector. I think that's Lucas backing off potentially to go for a quick lap. But Kian there leading the way. Macho there in 2nd. Volakongan there in 3rd. It's actually Lifeboat that has spun. Coming through the left-hander of turn number 18. But Kian leads the way. He's gone a little bit too early, I think, though. 49% of ERS. Macho was on 68%. Coming into the right-hander now at turn number 4. Macho has got more ERS. He's got more speed. I think this is looking good for Shazoo right now. Kian, though, might have other ideas with half a lap to go.
Yeah, potentially. I'm just trying to get all the points tallies up and here because it's getting ultimately very close here. But F7R are still taking the championship by 22 points as it stands. So it's all going to be about what's Team Shazoo going to come out as we get those calculations up. Lap 25 of 25. Anybody's race here. And I have a sneaky suspicion that Macho needs to get past Kian if he wants to try and take Team Shazoo to P3 in the standings at the end of this championship.
Yeah, here we go, down the strip for the final time. Macho on the back of Kian Bell. Ruffix on the way out of the race through the chicane of 6 and 7. Macho, though, is going to come absolutely storming now. At the back of his fellow countrymen, at the back of Kian. Is F7R's Kian going to defend hard? No. Macho passes him down the straight in towards turn number 15. It's going to be job done for him. Is Shazoo going to be on for a 1-3? Benz's got other ideas. He's right on the back of Volakongan, coming out through the strip and coming through the chicane for the final time. Kian's got a better exit, though, but Macho, it seems, the man, the myth, the absolute goat from the Netherlands, Macho, on the run to the line for Team Shazoo, takes the race win in Las Vegas. Kian in 2nd, and Benza nearly gets Volakongan for 3rd. If he wasn't on the outside line, he would have got him. Volakongan there hanging on for 3rd, a 1-3 for Shazoo, and I believe with Sammy Chemsey down in 14th position, we'll have to do the calculation. Sammy Chemsey, I think, he's only picked up 2 points. Shazoo's picked up a 1st and 3rd. That, for me, is 40 and 27, 67. I think Team Shazoo have nicked 3rd on Veloce Academy.
They certainly have. I've just done the maths myself. I'm adding it all up on the sheets as well. It's just going to have to get some final clarification on what's happening with F7R. They finished in 2nd, which means they get that many points. So the finishing totals as it stands is F7R are your champions of the world. 493 points, 16 points the difference between them and Outplayed Racing. Team Shizou have finished third with 3 points the difference between them and the Veloce Academy. It wasn't enough of an effort from Sammy Chempsey for those 2 points for 14th place, and that will be it. The Veloce Academy have got to qualify again for Season 4.
They have indeed, and that is going to be very, very harsh, I think, on Veloce Academy. Furious gets the driver of the day, a former partner racing driver in the end, getting driver of the day here in Las Vegas. What a race, though, that was. F7R, I think, from an early stage, pretty much since that incident on lap 8, that's the main talking point. F7R won't care, though. They had no points. Remember, at the end of race 1, Outplayed Racing were leading the championship with Louis Valentin at the end of race 1 in Monaco. And now F7R, for the second season in a row, with Talent Factory doing it last season, F7R have overturned the odds, overturned the favour, and have taken the race win out on track. I'll get rid of the overlay on the top end of your screen just to see the podium celebrations. But a fantastic race in the end. But it is Team Shizou that take the spoils, with Macho taking the race win. And guess who predicted him for the race win?
I'll give you the credit on that one for sure. And Macho absolutely is nailing it in the end then from Kian and Valakongan. That overtake from Macho and that fastest lap as well, remember, is just what the doctor ordered in order to try and take that championship tonight. Take the third place, rather. As a result of that one, actually, we can add the 2 points onto there, so it actually stretches out the gap even further to 5 points in the favour of Team Shizou versus Veloce Academy. They finish on 390, with Team Veloce Academy finishing on 385. Obviously, this is all very much provisional because we've got a lot of stewards' inquiries to discuss. We've got potentially a couple of incidents involving Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine to take into the equation. But where we go into the end part of this season now, James, there's got to be discussions across Outplayed Racing to decide how they have missed out on this championship, because they were dead certain for this one, perhaps as far as round 8 and round 9, and they've lost it at the death. Yeah,
they were an absolute dead cert, but in the end, it's part and parcel of racing. It's part and parcel of motorsport. Not everything will go according to plan. Not everything went according to plan for Outplayed Racing, not only in that race, but throughout the season. And in the end, F7R, you could argue, had the stronger lineup. They had the stronger drivers coming into tonight. Kian, of course, taking second position, enough for them to wrap up the championship. But in the end, I think what we can say, one of them deserved to win the championship. No matter who it was out of the 3 teams coming into tonight, one of the teams deserved to win it. They've all produced fantastic racing throughout the field. Yes, there's going to be those arguments off track. Yes, there's going to be those arguments in the YouTube comments. But at the end of the day, PSR, technically champions, Talent Factory, technically champions, but it is F7R Esports that are champions here for Legacy Division Season number 3. And in the end, absolutely deserved it with Kian and how he drove. I think he got the final lap wrong, but apart from that, Kian's drive was pretty much phenomenal.
Kian's drive was fantastic, wasn't it, in the end, to be fair? I mean, I've got to give some real credit to the drivers out on the field throughout Las Vegas, because some of those incidents that should have happened didn't happen, did they? Like the one that comes immediately to my mind is the Veloce. I can't remember which Veloce Academy driver it was, but going so deep into the penultimate set of corners ends up sort of what should have been just an absolute dire consequence as a result ended up not happening. So actually, what we thought would be a really chaotic race as regards to racecraft actually didn't turn out to be. So fair play to the drivers out there on the field, but nonetheless, a really, really interesting race right at the end with that safety car period. It looked like we were on for a 5-lapper at the end as a result of that safety car glitching, but it did come in the end, so it was a 4-lap dash to the end, and what a dash we had.
What a dash we had, and in the end, Macho, I think, would be very happy that the safety car did come back into the pit lane in the end. Kian probably not, because he actually lost the race in the end, and he was the one leading under the safety car. The trials and tribulations of Formula 1, the trials and tribulations of motorsport, right there. But that, unfortunately, I think is the end, unless we've got anybody around for interviews, which I'm very happy doing. I know it is slightly later than planned, but if we've got any interviews or anyone around, Macho or an F7R representative, that'll be even better.
Could only hope, because we'd love to hear from F7R actually, who managed to clinch that championship at the death. Of course, they were behind going into this race, and they've ended up winning it outright by, but looks of things, by 16 points. Obviously, very much provisional, because we've definitely got some kind of stewards inquiry we've got to discuss, because well, I mean, it was a bit of a mixed bag, wasn't it? That safety car at the end, which obviously brought out a few incidents. We've obviously got the Outplayed Racing's Louis Valentine incident during the qualifier, as well as the incident involving Jerry Van Bussel, actually, F7R driver, as well, to possibly review. So they may end up losing even more points. Outplayed Racing will still finish in second, but there is going to have to be that question, isn't it? Because, going back to that point, what has Outplayed Racing done to miss out on this championship? They should have had this one. They're going to be kicking themselves for missing it. They will qualify automatically for season 4, but they're not going to take that championship. What do they have to do, James, in your eyes? You're closer to the PlayStation sphere than I am. They've got to look at consistency, surely. That's got to be their main game next season.
Consistency and the fact that there's no I in team. And I think, as much as it pains for me to say, I don't think Outplayed Racing are fully united in terms of an actual entity and being a team. I think they rely on very, very quick drivers. I'm not getting at the drivers because I think they are absolutely brilliant. They're at the top of their game. But in the end, consistency is absolutely key. And team efficiency, everything around that is absolutely key as well. So I think those are the points to look at. As I say, I'm not absolutely down in them whatsoever. I really do believe in Outplayed Racing, as I do for every single team here tonight. But at the end of the day, Outplayed Racing went from leading the championship pretty much halfway through the season to coming up short by 20 odd points. And that is unforgivable, I think, for them, to be honest. It's the second time in 2 consecutive seasons as well. There's so many questions rather than answers, I think, for them and their future. But hopefully they can prove us wrong in the commentary box. Hopefully they can prove you guys at home wrong as well. But I believe we are. Well, I can't see him in the waiting for interview chat, but I believe we are getting a word for Macho.
Potentially. Will be interesting to see it here, what we've got to say about that one. The reason why I mentioned consistency on Outplayed Racing is, unless I'm blind, I'm going through all of the results throughout this season for Outplayed Racing. At no point throughout this season have they had both drivers finish on the podium, which is absolutely gobsmacking if that is the case. I need to just clarify and make sure that I'm not wrong on this one, but I can't see on here at the moment any stats to suggest that Outplayed Racing had both drivers on the podium this season. If that is the case, then we are in a position where Outplayed Racing have got to seriously look and say that consistency is poor. We've got to look at it, figure out where we've gone wrong, and look for season 4 to be the pinnacle of racing, because they were up there and they should have won it this season. F7R have rightfully snatched it by getting some great performances in the end. Team Shazoo will be so happy with third as well, considering that they had a bit of a slow start as well. So really, really good effort from them. And speaking of which, I think we've actually got Shazoo Macho going to be joining us actually for a quick word, because that is something I'd definitely want to hear about.
I definitely want to hear about it as well. He'd be very glad that I'm in the commentary box as well for this interview, which is always good. We always like to hear a Shazoo Macho interview, and hopefully here he is. We're going to get rid of the cameras. I'm going to go to the interview screen just like magic. I have not got the interview screen up. Now we do, though. And Shazoo Macho, can you hear us first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you absolutely fine. And that was an absolute thrilling end to that race between you and Kian. Congratulations on the race win. Shazoo taking P3 in the championship must be very happy right now.
I am honestly so happy. After obviously doing the event for Shazoo, doing the qualifiers and not qualifying, and then in the end taking the win here, our only win of the season, and getting P3 in the end. I'm so happy, honestly, lost for words.
Yeah, it's even better because I actually predicted you for the race win as well, as I did with Benza for qualifying. So I am Mr. James quite literally in the commentary box tonight. Joshua will probably sigh at me and just say, "Oh God, not him again." He's not gonna end this over in terms of this. But no, in terms of that final lap, and in terms of the safety car, first and foremost, what was your experience under that safety car? Because to us, I didn't have a clue what was going on.
Well, we were on 2 laps younger than Kian. So I mean, I was in a prime position, to be honest. I didn't need a safety car, I think, and Vola was going to catch up. So it was going to be a 2v1, and we were on fresher tires. But then obviously the safety car came out, and we were yeah, we were quite stressed out that Vola was going to drop a lot of positions because of the double stack. But then, the softs is obviously like a no-brainer on this game. The new tires are so important. It's just incredible. And then, I wanted to obviously be P2 because you know the track and so important to be P2. And I had to fend off and use every tactic in the book to not get overtaken by Ethan. But yeah, luckily we managed to. And then, Fair's the key in because he didn't have. I mean, he had everything to lose, so he was not going to fight me. So. Yeah, that was a very nice last lap.
Yeah, very, very nice last lap indeed. And as I mentioned, P3 for you, as I think we've just had Kian and then left Kian from the commentary box. Hopefully he can join very soon indeed. But in terms of Shazoo, P3, Veloce Academy, obviously with that qualifying ban, obviously with Christian Block causing that safety car as well, must be so happy right now as a team for picking up P3 and being automatic qualifiers from not even qualifying in the first place from the original qualifiers at the start of Season 3.
Yeah, that is actually incredible. We take it, to be honest, and yeah, incredible stuff. Really happy.
Very, very happy indeed. I'm very happy for Team Shazoo as well. Jotto, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a few questions actually for yourself, Macho, on that one, because obviously you managed to claw a fantastic victory in the end off of the back of, has been hesitant, trying to overtake Kian, obviously safety car period, but even before then you were hesitant to make the overtake. Obviously you took it at the last opportunity with the fastest lap as well, so a blisteringly quick lap time. Cracking strategy from you guys, by the way, to get that one. That race victory, that push at the final death was the reason why you guys finished third. It is just, you guys must be absolutely, sky high flying at the moment after the result of that one. What is the target moving through to next season now? Because you guys have got third. You're going to move forward now. You've got to think, are we going to be battling Outplayed? Are we going to be battling F7R? I'm kind of keen to try and see what your targets are moving forward.
I mean, looking at the last 3 PSGO races in F1, it was 3 times Shazoo winners. So I think we are quite in form. And for myself, I feel like I drive the best as I've ever done. But I mean, team events, we're always aiming for the win, but we just had a very rough start, and we had such a big backlog. Like it was hard to get back in the fight for the win. But we knew going into tonight with 2 quali bans and them letting Christian drive that we would have a fairly good shot at it. And in the end, we took it with both hands. And hopefully next season we go even further up.
It must be said as well that Benzer actually ended up finishing only 20, looks like, but actually about 200ths of a second back from Volakongan. So that could have been also a make or breaker. In fact, that would have been a 5 points difference, and you were 5 points back. So based on count back, if Benzer would have got Volakongan on the death, he would have ended up missing out on the Veloce Academy getting third place and Team Shazoo getting fourth. So it was ultimately down to just hundredths of a second after an entire season. Massive effort from you guys as well. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have got for season 4. Now you've automatically qualified. Great job.
Thank you very much. Thanks for comms, guys, and enjoy your evening.
You too.
Thank you very much.
And we will try again in terms of getting Kian across. He's on his phone now, so he was joining on PlayStation, which was unfortunate. So I will drag him across now, see if this all works. That has worked for now. That's good. Kian, can you hear us?
Hello?
There he is. We can hear him. There we go. Mr. F7R Kian. P2 out on track. F7R wrapping up the Legacy Division Season 3 Championship. You are probably prouder as punch right now compared to Shazoo Macho, who's just literally left the commentary box.
Yeah, it was a stressful race, but good to get the championship for the team, of course.
Yeah, and to think as well, F7R at the start of the season had no points from Monaco, and now you're here winning the championship 15 races later. Talk us through that process of, obviously, from the start of the season to where you've ended up now, and not only that, your performance here tonight.
The start of the season wasn't great. We got a lot of penalties because of certain people, but I won't tell any names. We fought back well throughout the season. We were very lucky at a lot of races. but we just kept it cool. And then just this final race, yeah, I just took it safe. Same for Jerry, I think. We just took it safe in the quali and in the race because we know we were fast. But yeah, it's just really good to fight back like this and get the championship.
Yeah, definitely so. It's obviously really, really strong from your showing as well here tonight. P2 obviously it didn't work out in the end, but you were the one leading under the safety car. Talk us through how that was feeling, because honestly, as I said to Macho there, I didn't have a clue what was going on.
Yeah, basically the game said like the safety car is going to be in this lap, but then I saw the safety car didn't go into the pit lane and just drive on track. I was like, okay, maybe it's a glitch, maybe the safety car will ghost or something or go away. But then I wanted to go full throttle and just have the restart, but then I got hold back. The game just put off my throttle input, and then yeah, we had to do another lap behind the safety car. I don't know what that glitch is. I've never seen it before, but yeah, eventually I think nothing really strange happened because of it, luckily.
Yeah, I've seen that glitch before on F1 22, and it was very rare when it happened, and I think it only occurred maybe on 2, 3 occasions, if that. But to happen here on a season finale of the biggest team event on console was just absolutely something. And people may say it was rigged, people may say it was completely against everything that we talk about, but it was just one of those scenarios where you just got to look and think, oh my god, what are we a part of? But congratulations on your P2. Jotto, I'm going to hand it over to you. Any questions?
First off, I'm going to be aging myself back when I say that I actually remember this glitch as far back as F1 2017. So this has been a reoccurring thing, but it is actually very rare that it happens. But it's one of those situations, and you know what? You guys adapted so well to be able to, monitor that one. I know Jerry obviously faced quite a few challenges of being a little bit further back, but you maintained from the front and managed to gain that pace. I think in the end, that safety car perhaps brought you back down to earth a little bit, but in the end, I'm kind of interested in your mindset going forward into the final bits of that race. Did you really want to fight for the race victory, knowing that if you got second place, you'd still have the championship?
Well, of course, I wanted to win the race, but like my engineer said, he said like just take no risk. It is what it is. If you overtake last lap, if you get P2, we're still champion. So I was like, yeah, the championship is way more important than for me to fight for a win and take a lot of risk. So I just brought it home. Macho won the race. He was fast as well, so he deserved it.
The bottom line here, though, is that, you guys are not just champions, you obviously automatically qualify moving forward for Season 4 as well. You're going alongside Outplayed Racing and Veloce, no longer Veloce Academy, but Team Shizou. Veloce Academy were on the brink of being able to automatically qualify. Team Shizou, as a result of that overtake, have then overtaken Veloce Academy. So, moving forward now, what is the mindset for the season ahead? Is it going to be just battle it out, knowing that you've got that championship underway, or is there some learnings that you're going to take moving forward?
Well, I won't be driving anymore next season, unlucky, but I know the team is very good. We've learned a lot from this season, and yeah, we just started so wrong, and it cost us so many points. And just looking forward, need to be confident like every single round because we know we are the fastest, we're the best team on console. So yeah, I'm sure the team will take a lot of learnings from this, and we'll win it again next season. I'm sure of it.
I'm sure the team will always support you, obviously, no matter where you go for your endeavours. And sorry to hear that you're leaving the team as well. I mean, what for you personally? What's on the horizon?
I mean, I'm not leaving the team, but I'm going to drive on PC mainly. I want to fight for a championship still this season on PS for the team and get some points. But next season, I'm sure they got it with the drives on PlayStation.
All right, well, best endeavours then on to PC then as well. I'm sure that you'll be an absolute star. Great second place nonetheless from yourself there. Thank you very much for being
Yes,
alongside
thank
us,
you.
James.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Kean, go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you. All right, thanks for commentating. Bye bye.
You're very welcome indeed. And that rounds us off very neatly indeed in terms of the championship, in terms of Legacy Division season number 3. Jota is not showing on the camera on my screen. That might just need a fix. There he is. We can see him now. Fantastic stuff. And Jota, at the end of what has been a very challenging season, I think, from our driver's perspective, from everyone and behind the scenes, we've got to the end of the ride. We've got to the end of the season, and honestly, it was one of those events where you've got to be proud to be a part of the product that you're in.
the products that we have developed as a team across WOR, across the media team, and across all of the organisers, as well as, of course, the main brain of it all in Luke, should be super proud of what we've been able to achieve over the last 3 seasons. WOR legacy is going from strength to strength, despite the fact that occasionally we see the game going from week to week. You know, we had an experience of that today with that safety car, but everyone adapts and everyone has managed to create, I think, a really, really good platform for an amazing experience for all of these racing teams looking to just have fundamentally a lot of fun on a game that sometimes really does throw a few things at you. Big thank you to everyone across the esports platform for getting involved in this tournament. We're looking forward to Season 4 ahead. I'm sure all of the other announcements will be available at WOR League. But from myself, I want to thank everyone again for all of your support, obviously, during my sabbatical as well. To yourself, James, for your time as well, where I've needed to take that break. But I am looking forward to being alongside you guys next season.
And I will also be there as well for season number 4. We've been told to explicitly say that it's going to be revealed on social medias next week regarding Legacy Division. So next week is when information, or the first bits of information, is going to come out. May even come out sooner, though, because apparently F1 Esports has been cancelled for Event 2. So it may even come out a little bit sooner than that, from what I'm reading on League Racing News, certainly on Twitter. But what we can look forward to, though, is more console racing action as well. And from Las Vegas, we literally go to the center country of America. It is Austin, Texas, at Circuit of the Americas, the final race before the break week. Obviously, with F1 Esports now getting cancelled, or apparently getting cancelled, it looks like it's going to run at the normal time. If not, I believe it's 6:30 UK time if you want to tune in for that, if F1 Esports is running. But Circuit of the Americas, Jota, going to be very interesting for the console guys. And then they've got that big 2 weeks into that big 2-week break to get fat off chocolate, and then they're back for Singapore on the 4th and 5th of January.
I mean, Singapore is obviously going to be one hell of a circuit for people to come back off after their hangovers of the new year. So certainly looking forward to seeing what the drivers have got ahead of them. And of course, never discredit the fact that we, of course, got Mexico the week after that as well, which always brings a little spicy affair as well. So that is going to be a significantly exciting season ahead on console. WOR Legacy Division will be back very soon, though, and that will be all announced, as James pointed out, over on the Twitter sphere. Could be next week, could be earlier now. We'll see what happens. Have a look. Follow us at WOR League _.
Yeah, indeed. And a big thank you, of course, to all of our sponsors, Next Level Racing, and indeed GridFinder. Tom from GridFinder was in the chat I saw a little bit earlier on. He said hello, and then he went. So, hello, Tom. Hope you're doing well, and hopefully everything went according to plan in terms of the stream. We eventually got there, didn't we? We've also got PC No Assist action coming up for you guys on the 11th of December. Obviously, that's gone from Circuit of the Americas, but the 18th of December, Singapore is where the action's going to be. That's PCF2 all the way down, I think, to PCF9, if I'm not mistaken. Singapore there for round 6 of the championship, and then it's the sprint race of Mexico for the PC guys as they come back off their Christmas break as well. We, however, are going to end it off here. A big thank you to everyone that tuned in. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. Me and Jota will see you back for Season 4 of WOR Legacy Division. But please, take care of yourselves. Have a good night, and we will see you on the other side of the new year. Happy Christmas and a very happy new year from us both. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.